quiet.
Yeah, okay, so I just started recording. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Drakova, the one and only. For the record, Mr. Drakova. Whatever. A lot of people don't know this about us. How long have we known each other now? Let's see, we've known each other since a couple months before you met your wife, right? So it's got to be like almost 4 years, like round about Trump got elected, I think. Like that's how long we've known each other?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
2016, probably.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
What I first started talking to you was because it wasn't necessarily that I agreed to you, but I liked your, like,
Bitch, I was giving you gold. I was giving you
never mind.
gold
That was it.
to say, pay attention to me, I have questions.
Oh, I was going to pretend like I actually liked what you were saying. Never mind. That was what it was.
No, that came...
I was like, there was a reason that I started paying attention to you.
That came later. No, that came later.
No, you were open. You were like... You were about context more than most people. And most people were...
Context or nuance?
People will fight me with strawmans all the time, and you were talking about nuance and context. Like, you were saying, oh, well, I guess it would work if I wasn't in a duel and I was in world PvP. I could run back farther. You would actually look at those things, and I was like, oh, you'd get it. Like, I have some people that I talk to that, well... they like only imagine what I'm saying.
They don't like
some sort of set scenario.
They don't like contradictory information, or they go into way too much detail. They're like, under this specific scenario. Way too much detail. Okay, yeah, I go into too much detail. You're right. What do you like? You don't go into too much detail? What the fuck?
That's why I had to stop talking because I want to explain every piece of nuance and context, and I realized, oh, it's impossible. So why don't I just just look at me play and make your own decisions.
I know. Yeah, so what I get around that by just trying to focus on all I want to do is get other human beings up to 90% of the full potential of the paladin class, right? If I just 90% and I'll consider you at 100%. Because the only fucker I know that can go 100% is Drakova.
Not 100%.
Right.
That feels really awkward and wrong to even say that.
Right, but you're far closer to 100% than any other paladin. Am I wrong about that? Like
probably some incel you never heard about.
True. Yeah, we like to think about that. But even when we were dueling the other day, I mean, you were specifically you were stopping and sitting and getting the crits. You were doing all the little things. And I wasn't doing shit. I was just running after you, trying to hit your dumbass, mostly because I was lagging like a bitch, and I've been out of dueling for a million years, so I wasn't even going to try that crap. But you get the point. You were doing a bunch of little nuanced things at a far higher level than I could possibly do. Did you see me sit and drink in combat even once? How many mana ticks did you get off on me? Because you would like
to do that. I don't know why you don't do it.
Because
it's just a practice thing.
Yeah, I just don't have the practice or the experience with it. I've been out of dueling and fighting for too long. And that was something we never did on Hen House for some reason. Did we ever do that on Hen House? I don't remember.
No, I started doing it on Hen House.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's just
not at the very beginning. I was honestly, I was copying somebody.
I remember the first person I saw do the drink walking thing was fucking God, who was it? Who's the druid that's terrifying?
Soda popping?
Yeah, it was fucking Soda. I was dueling him. He was just drink walking around me, and I'm like...
It's funny. If you talk to Soda, he's like, I suck.
Like, what the fuck? He's a beast, bro.
He's really noble. He's noble about it.
Dude, I watch him. I don't
know if he's...
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. He talks some stuff down, but he's really good. Like he doesn't get to play as much as some other people because he's a variety streamer.
I fought Soda and I fought Storm X, and Soda scares me. Like I see a lot more mistakes coming out of Storm X.
Is more of a group player, and Soda understands some solo play. And he probably inherently does seem to understand some things better. But
and he probably has a lot more experience fighting paladins, but. Man, Soda scares me.
No, I don't think he does. I think he's just inherently just a special person. I don't know what to... I mean, he doesn't... He wouldn't agree to that. I mean, usually he's... Sorry, my son is trying to jump off the bed and murder himself. But But anyways, I don't want to talk about other people and glorify or defame them or anything
Well,
too much.
you don't
Like
you don't like,
I mean,
okay.
I knew who you were talking about
Yeah.
because
Well, we can both say unequivocally that he's the best druid we've ever fought. Correct? Like I haven't fought any scarier druid.
I don't deal in absolutes like that. But
Really?
he's really good.
Okay. Well, I deal in absolutes, so suck my
I
dick.
told you my philosophy that humans are too dumb to understand the world around them.
Well, that includes us. I mean, technically, we're still.
That includes me, so I don't.
Okay.
It's just wasted time.
All right. So what did I want to? Yeah. So I was bringing up when we first met each other. One fascinating interaction between us that I always liked in the past was how many times was I trying to shove numbers in your face? Like, no, bro, I've done the math. This is better. And then you can't explain to me that in the practical real world scenario, I can't get away with that. You know what I mean? So I would be trying to argue math.
Did you stop? Did you finally stop
trying
to do that?
No, I didn't.
You're still trying to push numbers on me, and I'm like, yeah, but what if I'm thinking to myself, like, what if you took a step backwards, and then you lost that like buff, and then that didn't trigger, and then that didn't trigger, and I'm like,
yeah.
You have to intuitively fill it out. You can't like put it on a spreadsheet. It doesn't translate like PVE very well. Yeah. I'm terrible PVEer because I don't deal with spreadsheets and numbers. But if he's in PvP, I do more damage than other people because
there's a lot of other factors. Intuition. There's a lot of other factors going into PvP that way.
Yeah, there's like a million ways to deny someone hitting you. Like if you're fighting a hunter has like 5 tricks at any given point to try to mitigate damage.
Yeah.
And putting it on a spreadsheet is kind of unbelievably useless.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so it's always really funny our interactions because I'm over here crunching numbers and doing math, and you're over there like, you got.
I just find a fat ratio, and I'm like, well, that's a good ratio. How much stats can I throw into that interaction? Like, I'm like, well, command can double up.
That's funny.
Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
Command can double.
I get. It's probably a way louder on your end than it is on my end.
No, my wife and kid, they do this on purpose. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, what was funny is this only started when we started recording. Yeah. We've been talking for like almost 2 hours previous to starting the recording, and it's like, get him! Daddy's serious! Get him! Anyways. Okay, so
let's stop being a crotchety old jerk.
Let's get into the specs.
Sorry, love.
Let's get into the specs that I want to talk about today. So,
all right.
The one spec that I've never made a video on that I've gotten a million questions and I really need to talk to you about, I do believe
30020.
Yeah, it's the Holy Shock Seal of Command build.
31. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Me too. I get a million of those.
I'm gonna tell you what I think about it.
Wait, no, I'm gonna steal the show. Let me say first thing.
Go for it.
I like to show things in action.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
31020, 33018, good specs, right? But if I'm going in the battlegrounds and using those specs, honestly, you know what that looks like? I'm going around healing.
Yeah, I know.
That's one thing people don't translate into practical. Like, it's really not that fun to watch. It's not that boring to play, but you're basically just playing a holy paladin.
But they try to argue it from a DPS perspective, though. Which is where I have problems.
Every 2 minutes, a rogue jumps on you, and you push him off. He has to go bandage or something, right? And then you go back to healing.
But then Holy Reckoning is far better for that. So it's like,
it's just more entertaining to watch too. Like 31020 is good, but it is honestly is a bit boring. I think in dueling is exciting, but I have a whole other problem with dueling. People are like,
explain.
I beat someone in a duel.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I feel like a dick if I post this. Like, oh, I beat you. And then there's no evidence, like, how many times did you lose to get that one win? Like, I wouldn't like someone losing to me 4 times and then posting the one time they won.
All right, well.
I wouldn't do that.
It's
weird.
I want you to be more specific. How do you think the build performs in the open world? How do you think it performs in duels? How do you think it performs in BGs?
Okay, well, the number one advantage, first of all, is that it's a hybrid.
Yes.
That is And then another reason that's really good, there's other hybrid builds, like there's deep ret hybrid builds. Yes. But I truly and honestly believe that deep ret is pretty, I mean, it's a bit underwhelming. I mean, yes, you can go full crazy with consumes, get double caster and melee consumes, and perform almost on a moderate level, but not really, because BWL has specific mechanics that kind of make deep ret bad. So being a hybrided into holy, 31 holy, is great.
Yeah.
And then you can justify getting nice weapons because you have command. So the thing about this spec is, like, you don't really have to respec. You can go into the battleground, be effective, because you're a healer, and you still have plate armor. So even though you don't have a shield, you probably won't be the first target. So that means that you can pull a two-hander out and still assist and do damage, especially if you're healing 80% of the time. 20% of the time you pop your ZHC, you stun the target to get the double command damage. Like, for a few seconds, you do nice damage. But, I mean, you can do nice damage. You can also miss because you have a higher miss chance. But, sorry.
No, it's fine.
That being said, that's what people are talking about. The people that play that spec, they always talk about these highlight moments, because they do exist. Like, you're in a 2v2 and you pop your stuff and you drop one of the two guys with the guy, your teammate, you and the other guy.
It has eye for an eye? Holy crap, I didn't know it had eye for an eye. I just pulled up the
that's like the whole point of it. That's why it's pretty good against Ellie. It's okay against Ellie shots.
I thought they went down for seal of command only. I didn't know they got all the way to eye for an eye. But you don't have reckoning,
there are some
so it's
that
like,
do that.
I mean, if I had to weigh eye for an eye versus reckoning, I would choose reckoning over eye for an eye.
Well, what you do is it's just.
I guess you got holy shock, so okay, yeah.
Yeah, you power up and you go all in at the critical moment. You take out an important target and you go back to healing. That's the general best way to play. Of course, you can run around hitting things with seal command, but your damage is pretty gimped.
Well, I want to stay focused. So it's like, I can see this build being really good in open world PvP because you have holy shock and you have you're just a tanky turd, right? That can technically do damage. I can see for the exact same reasons in duels it would be good. It probably has a decent burst, especially against spellcasters with eye for an eye and holy shock.
You have eye for an eye and you can heal yourself.
Yeah.
So that helps against, say, like Holy Reckoning. When I fight mages and I don't have eye for an eye, it's so painful.
It's painful. Yeah, I can say that. But but then again, you go against elemental shamans and you're in Holy Reckoning. I don't know what do you feel more
still okay?
Do you?
I mean, because you can get a lot of so.
Would you feel
fighting elemental shamans weird? The more nature resist you have, the more you want to stay at kind of a range where they can't all in. Like, I would use like Barrow Trinket or some sort of defensive trinket, survive and all in.
Yeah, scrolls of blinding light are fucking amazing for that.
Kind of, I wouldn't even. You think does scroll get dispelled on classic?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. If it does, then Barrow Off's for sure, or skeletal offhand.
Barrow Off's good because you can do it right before a chain lightning goes off, like some sort of arena grandmaster.
My problem,
so they can't dispel.
Yeah, my problem with that though is them going offensive on you is usually involves you being stunned during the process, either by a grenade or by a war stomp. So I can't. I'm not really sure where to get off the trinket in that scenario. Do you just see them running at you and you just assume they're going to go for you? And
what I usually end up having to do, if they line up their grenade right or their war stomp, that's the shield, unfortunately. If they've powered up, and it's usually the fight usually goes on for a long time. There's usually eating and drinking involved, and the next power up.
Oh, okay. So when they don't have the stuns anymore, that's when you
you pop the Barov. Oh, not Barov, but the Burrow. I'm talking about Burrow Trinket. I think the shield, Arena Grandmaster.
Oh, I'm thinking about the three peasant summons.
Sorry if I word that.
Well, it would work.
No, I'm talking.
Wouldn't it work?
I don't really like
summons?
the three peasants. Their HP is too low. I like skeletal summon.
Yeah, definitely. Ideally, skeletal summon.
No, but I mean, it can fight elemental shaman in context. Like, you have to pick the context we're talking about. Like. Yeah. In a duel, it's really boring because basically if you run at the LA Shaman and try to kill him, you lose. If the LA Shaman goes ham and tries to blow you up, he
that
he might still win,
yeah.
but if you build correctly, you'll still win just healing yourself. So
Did
it's like about just being really taking a long time and eating and drinking, and
did you
it
see
becomes very
my
unrealistic.
did you see my my versus elemental shaman guide? Probably not.
No, but let me tell you, you
Yeah.
probably had nature resist, right? Because you
Yeah,
can back
I
up.
had like 101
You
nature
can back
resist. Yeah.
up and you force them to go to either ice
Yeah.
or, and you can stay kind of like fire is like kind of close range, mid range is ice. And if you stay at a certain range, they run into earth shock you. Imagine you just light up uh, your chain lightning and the guy having nature resist. It doesn't quite do the damage you want. And he's sitting there free healing and you're trying to interrupt.
Yeah.
And your interrupts are failing because he has nature
Yeah.
resist.
Or it doesn't even matter
And
because he's still got so many hit points. He just survives the interrupt, and he's just like, okay, I just heal through it, and it's like, ah, fuck. The one thing I point out in my guide is since we can get the 2 second stun off pretty consistently, like the Seal of Justice stun,
no,
you can't
really? No, they purge you.
with Reckoning. Oh, okay. Like I'm what I'm saying is this: say I decide that it's go time against this elemental shaman, and I run right at them with full life. Okay. If they cannot kill me, if they cannot kill me from the stun and the burst, and then I get to physically hit them, how are they going to not be stunned, and how am I not going to get that heal off?
Well, first of all, orc.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, orc is a problem, but
it ignored the grounding totem is ignored, but orc.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess orc.
Well, you got reckoning.
I mean,
you got
come on, half of them
charges.
are orcs.
You got reckoning charges. Well, okay, so the a lot of them aren't orcs anymore. They went with War Stomp,
which is still pretty good.
No, it's really good. Yeah, but I had like 101 nature resist and like 5,000 hit points, and I just did the math, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can just run at these fuckers, and I'll be able to get the stun heal off pretty much 100% of the time. If it's an orc, maybe not, but a lot of that has to do with reckoning. If I didn't have reckoning, then there would be a problem. But because you've got reckoning and that hit's going to come down, so I don't know.
Well, you have to hit them, and they can low rank frost shock you, pace back. I mean, there's so many little things they can do. I mean,
I'm not saying they're dead. I'm saying
I know, but this is why dueling is so dumb. Because
okay.
One thing I want to say about elemental shamans.
Yeah.
In real PvP, they fuck paladins.
Yeah, I've seen that. Because they sit at range, you can't get to them.
I'm sitting here, and somebody's going to straw me manly later and sit there and say, like, oh, Drakova said you could beat Ellie Shaman. I'm going to kick his ass. It's like, yeah, honestly, if I had every piece of gear in the game, I actually could. I could beat you. No matter if you got 100 spell pin, I probably could still beat you.
Yeah, easy.
Playing it, I could.
I'm well aware. It's just way too much DPS.
In a real PvP scenario,
they're sitting at range behind.
They'll fuck me.
Yeah, I know.
They'll fuck me. I can't wear specific gear. I mean, even if you try to wear counter paladin gear, it doesn't work that well. But counter.
Their only real
counter shaman gear does.
Yeah,
I'm talking about dueling.
Their only real weakness in PvP, in my opinion, is their mana bar. Like, you have to work their mana bar because they are mana inefficient like a motherfucker. But they'll nuke the shit out of you. So it's like,
honestly, I'm just gonna say this: they're kind of OP.
Yeah,
they're kind of OP. I mean, their mana bar is, but especially, I don't know about pre-made. I don't know about the highest end pre-made. They seem like they're good in pre-made, and they're definitely good in pug PvP. If you play a dedicated Ellie Shaman. So I'm not even talking about that, guys. Someone's going to strawman me later and say,
all right, well...
Yeah, if I could pick all my gear, I could probably beat you.
Think about this. What if you had, like, 10 elemental shamans versus 10 paladins? Who would win?
Elemental, probably.
You think so?
Because... Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean... are we talking... generic PvP gear? Or are we talking?
I'm talking like I'm thinking
weirdness.
I'm talking Sea-Doos versus Drakovas. Like there's 10 Sea-Doos over there, and there's 10 fucking Drakovas.
10 cheese versus 10 cheese. I don't know.
Like, because you can't wear nature resist gear, obviously, but
no, you can't wear.
Cannot. Yeah, that wouldn't make any
Because
sense.
the whole strategy would be staying at a range that they have to use some of their mana.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be nature at that range. So
Or
10 Sea-Doos.
or I suppose you could hide in like your base in like Warsong Gulch and make them come in there point blank range after you. That might be get interesting. You know, like use the LOS. Like the nature of the game changes like a motherfucker when LOS is involved, right?
Yeah.
Like fight.
Honestly, that's like the
yeah.
worst thing. It's 10 shamans. I mean, come on.
I know.
I'm not gonna. No, 10 shamans. It's stupid.
So okay,
I mean, what am I supposed to tell you?
all right. So talk to me about it in this sense. Yeah.
Are we supposed to be talking about 30-0-20?
Yes, we'll get back to that. But apparently we took a sidetrack. So, what would you say is the difference between fighting an elemental shaman with LOS versus without LOS? Like, what's the ease in or the?
I mean,
it's a lot easier to fight them when you have LOS, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, but how much easier would you say? I mean,
all their damage is range, and in Classic you can hit through walls and stuff.
What the
you
fuck?
Can proc steal
For reals?
command. Yeah, you can proc steal command and reckoning through a wall. Like if he runs too close to the wall, you can hit him.
That's
you can't
funny.
judge him. But I mean,
I want to say that's bullshit. Except I've seen lightning bolts and chain lightnings come through trees. So suck my dick.
Well, no, trees. Everything goes through trees, but the command autos, all autos.
I can't run through a tree, asshole. But the hunter can shoot me through a tree.
You can auto attack as a warrior through a wall, hit someone on the other side.
That's fucked up.
But you can't. Here's the thing: warriors don't get mortal strike off their auto attacks. So they can't use rage.
Oh, so you can't.
A paladin can get command procs and reckoning like no tomorrow through a wall.
That's funny.
So that's one of the many reasons why. See, there's many reasons why line of sight helps paladins more than like a warrior. Like, first of all, we can get command and reckoning through walls. Second of all, we have different ways to win a fight. Like a warrior, if he has a bunch of dots on him, he kind of needs to run at the enemy so the enemy can stand in the. He doesn't have to necessarily. He might be able to kite back and get some
we have an offensive mode and a defensive mode and then like a mobility.
We have offensive mode, defensive mode, gear swaps that would
gear swaps
matter more.
Just running away is an amazing tactic. Just running away in a straight line is
the fact that we have freedom, so we can actually run behind a wall.
Yeah, totally.
And then our attacks are spaced, like in a way. So there's a lot of
nuance. I'll give you that.
That wall humping helps, but I would say the biggest one is that we can basically use command and reckoning through walls, and warriors can't really. They can just auto attack through the wall. So
I think when we're in those tight areas, like when we're inside a base,
you should do that. By the way, if you're low on health and you got no answer to something, try to put a wall between you and a warrior to help equal out the damage difference.
That's funny.
I do it all the time. Okay, so what are we supposed to be talking about?
Originally, we were talking about 31-0-20 people arguing with us and trying to. Okay, so you said your piece a bit.
Hijacking again.
All right, fine.
Nope. It's what's good about it is you can go holy and raid and you don't have to respec.
Agreed.
And then in real PvP, you don't really have to have a shield because you still have plate armor, and you can put it on a shield if you need to. By the way, obviously, you just don't have readout and prove, so you can still be tanky. Tankier than a priest. You know,
I would do that versus rogues, no problem, like for sure.
Yeah, and you can still when the rare instance. So like how it works is like. Healing is almost always better, except for a very rare amount of time. But you're ready for that rare amount of time because you have Holy Shock and Stun Judgment damage.
Holy Shock.
So it's a viable build. But my only problem is that people always say they want to see me use that build. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I literally spend 20 minutes sometimes just running around casting Holy Light and shit. And it's like, is it really...
I agree.
It's not as entertaining as you think. As a player, you remember that, oh man, like...
Yeah,
I got.
You just don't have any fun. I mean, some paladins don't like to heal. Like I have friends right now that
I don't mind the heal. It's just it's not fun to watch.
Okay,
I've done that spec once in the past, and people were like, "Oh, I could play a holy paladin anytime. I want to see some ret." And I'm like,
Nah, that's funny.
Like, this is a healing spec, like, and it's viable. And
Like,
it's just
where I'm at right now is like I do my Holy Reckoning spec, and a lot of people they want me to do BGs as opposed to dueling, right? And one of their arguments, because one of my best friends, he's a 31020, and he keeps saying that his 31020 from a melee DPS perspective is better than my Holy Reckoning in BGs from a melee DPS perspective. And
and I have additional healing,
my
right?
response to that is he's got a fucking hand of rag, and my two-handed weapon for Holy Reckoning it doesn't come out
I
till
know who you're
8q.
talking about.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's Zach. Yeah,
he
Zach.
outgears you
Yeah, it gears me.
significantly.
And I'm like,
He
yeah,
actually has full BIS for
for Rhett.
31020,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. If you see his Rhett gear, his Rhett
Not
gear
for
is
Ret,
almost
but
full.
for 31020. I think that's has to be pretty close to full BIS.
I agree.
So
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. I mean,
it's like me and BGs as well. It's like until Holy Reckoning gets a good two-handed weapon, you're a healer in Battlegrounds. To try to say you're anything else is almost unjustifiable in my opinion. It's like, yeah, I can probably
I
do
would
good
still,
with my
you
one-hander
know,
and pump some DPS with the one-hander, but compare that to a good two-hander, I mean, I don't know, bro.
well, and I'm going to say something that's kind of sad. That I think the amount of fun builds that aren't healing,
Yeah.
like just take healing out of it because there's lots of fun healing builds and PvP has gone down a lot because of the ratios and proc rates of oils and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I honestly think Reckoning got buff because if you know how the instant whites work and the batching works and leeway works. So there's several mechanical things that I would say got buff. And just like some of the nerfs to some of the other classes actually buffed Reckoning. But okay, that's one spec. All right, let's talk about like all this Shadow Reckoning stuff is basically.
Yeah, Shadow Reckoning's. I don't know. We got 100%
I
ratios
mean,
on some of that shit.
it's not. It's good enough to win a 1v1 and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's basically dead compared to what it used to be. And if you're in the battlegrounds, you should just be healing. So it just becomes another healing spec. Like if you don't do enough damage that it's anything but a healing spec now in group PvP.
I agree. Well, we have to wait.
So
We have to wait to see what Blood Drinker is capable of doing. If it's got a 10% proc
yeah, we
rate,
got to
then-
look at. But it looks like they're all going to be 5%. But
Yeah.
10% with SOR.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like they're all going to have the same proc rate.
Yeah.
In which case,
Yeah.
all Shadow Reckoning builds will basically be dead. I got a Flame Wrath on Ruklar, and it was fun for AoE farming, but it does not work in BG. It's so sad. It finally procs, and you get so excited, and people are just like, I'm not going to hit you. And I'm like, oh, fuck this game. I've spent 350 gold, probably your gold, on getting that fucking enchant, spell power enchant on my Flame Wrath. And it's just, I really wanted to experiment, but
no. What are you doing, you dumbass? All right. So the awesome thing about the Flame Wrath is that it was retrospective after you weapon swapped. Right? So you proc the thing, and then you can swap to like a Lockamere, and you get all the ratio from a Lockamere. The fuck are you doing putting it on that weapon?
Because you gotta try to get another one, man. You gotta be like,
oh, you just gotta keep it up. You want full uptime, is what you're saying.
I want to be running around with Flame Wrath the whole time. Okay, man.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna get a Lockamere and then get another spell power enchant on that.
Yeah.
And you're gonna pay for that too, bitch.
Oh God. Well, I do bribe you with gold to have these conversations.
I need a spell power enchant on both. Because if that's the only proc I'm getting, then I'm gonna switch.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be. I'm still trying to figure out. You know how you see those like cool weapons?
I want a two-hand tank with it. I want to go 11.
It's got to be good somewhere, right? It's like a riddle
11,
in your head
15.
that's just. No,
11, 25, 15 with that 5 parry, two-hand tanking.
Right. One second.
And even if it's not good, here, listen to me. Even if it's not good,
all right.
we need to get revenge on these fucking Fury tanks
everywhere.
Yeah,
I know. All right,
we just need to pretend like we're good and scream that we're good.
How many people are listening to this that don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about right now?
Well, look, the Fury tank is good, but like it's blown out of proportion, so that people
can
have
I
an
at least
excuse to roll
explain
on everything.
Can I at least explain the weapon so that people don't think we're a couple of gibbering retards?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not entirely sure what the proc rate is, but the fire boss in Blackrock Depths around the anvil, I forget his name, drops a two-handed like pole arm that has a chance to proc like some AoE damage, but then I think it's like for 10 seconds afterwards that
15.
Oh damn. For 15 seconds afterwards, you do fire damage to anybody who strikes you. Okay? That fire damage, however, is a 100% spell power ratio, and it retroactively updates if you swap around your gear or pop like a ZG trinket, for example. So there's videos of people getting it up to like 450 fire.
It'll be 800, 900, and even 1K once people pick up Berserk buff.
Oh,
just wait.
Well, seriously? Yeah. So So me and Drakova have been trying to figure out where the hell do we use this? Is it even usable in PvP or in duels? Like, can we tank with it? Like, what exactly can we do? So what I'm trying to say, he's trying to say he wants as much uptime as possible. I'm saying no. Once you proc it, switch to more tanking gear. But both are kind of viable if you think about it.
Tanky and spell power.
Yeah, obviously spell power. Yeah,
but like a Lockamere with 30. And then pop your ZG trinket right then, so it's like another 300 damage per auto. So every time a rogue hits you, if you have full tier 2 with spell power rings and accessories, and you have a Lockamere with ZHC up, it's 700, 650 damage in auto. And mind you, phase 5, it stacks with fire damage too, not just spell damage. So like you can get plus 20 fire damage on your gauntlets. So
you've really been thinking about this stuff. I took one look at it, said it was impractical, and decided not to think about it anymore.
I took one look at it, decided it was impractical, and then wasted all your money to find out. Then I decided it was impractical again. No, it was. Well, I haven't given up on it.
Yeah, I know. What, 1 second, bro.
Because when it does proc,
and
they are dumb enough to hit you.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of variables there.
It might be good versus a rogue. Like the rogue jumps on you, you get your full wreck charge. You do like your wreck bomb, but you're not actually trying to kill them. So there's pretty much a good chance it procs. And then they come out still alive. So they're like, man, fuck you, I'm going to kick your... Like, that might be a scenario.
Yeah, I was thinking to, like, trinket out of the kidney at the beginning.
Yeah.
Might not have 4 counters then, though. And then try to land it and get it to proc. And then they'll be like, you only did, like, half my health bar with that shitty wreck bomb. Or less. And they're going like, all right, I was going to finish you because you didn't even do that much damage. And then start... Then you can literally... If you're doing 700 damage every time they hit you...
It's going to be less than a second. They're going to live about a second.
Yeah, so they might not know what happened to them, but
yeah,
I think even with a full wreck bomb so SOR doubles the chance that this thing procs. So people might not know that. And you can, so basically a wreck bomb is 10 chances, can be 10 chances instantly to make it proc. The problem is the proc rate is really low.
So 11 with judgment? Yes?
No. Oh. No, because SOR judgment does not proc weapon.
I did not know that. Fascinatingly.
Nope.
I need to pause the video for a sec. I gotta go check something.
Okay.
All right, so we are back. Just recording? Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to start talking about the 31-0-20 build now, simply because I feel like if we just leave it at what Drakova thinks of it, people are going to get a lot of hate on this. So what I want to really talk about, you tried to explain where it's good. And if I'm looking at this and I'm looking at it good, because I look at things in terms of, like, dueling, open world PvP, battlegrounds, both serious battlegrounds and non-serious battlegrounds, and then rating. Like, those are my criteria. And for rating, the awesome thing about this spec is you don't have to respec whatsoever, right? Period. End of story. You save a lot of gold. 110,000.
Unless you're in some guilds.
Yeah, some guilds are crazy though. But honestly,
if you're like speed running, of course.
Classic WoW's raid difficulty does not warrant you being that anal retentive about whatever. Don't get me started on that. It's
Good.
I'm Holy Reckoning, and people are like, you don't have 5% more critical strike. I'm like, who cares? Like, seriously, the content is easy.
BWL, they shouldn't care.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyways,
like we still clear BWL in 45 minutes. Like, whatever, bro. I mean, what I found fascinating about Holy Reckoning, like my Holy Reckoning spec, is for some reason I'm the only fucking Holy Paladin with points in Lasting Judgment. So I'm the only Paladin actually putting like Judgment of Wisdom on a boss. And I think that's why they let me be Holy Reckoning. And my brain is like, who are these other
just convince them, like, do you have Sanctuary too?
Yes.
You can, I mean, you can just be like, yeah, I'm the Sanctuary Paladin, wink, wink, you know?
Yeah, but that's what
I'm the Lasting Judgment Paladin.
Yeah,
it's not true. That's not how it works, but...
well, here's what I find fascinating is, because I hadn't raided before Classic WoW came out, so I was like, okay, I'm going to make the argument that I'm the Sanctuary Paladin. That was I'm the Sanctuary, and I'm the improved concentration Aura Paladin, and that's why I don't have my points over here. But what ended up happening was I'm the Lasting Judgment Paladin, because apparently these fucking Holy Paladins are min-maxing out the ass. I don't know where they're putting their points. Like, I literally don't know where these Lasting Judgment points are going, and they just don't do it. And I'm like, that's weird, but I'll take it. So whatever, I guess I'm the Lasting Judgment Paladin now.
Yeah, like they're deep holy, but they don't have Lasting
Judgments. Yeah.
Well, there is a build where you get like every type of buff. Like, you get improved might, you get kings, and I think it is like just 31 points in holy, so you can't actually. There might be if you're getting improved wisdom, you might just skip it.
Yeah, I think
funny.
I think if you're min-maxing your healing paladin to be a healing paladin, you end up skipping Lasting Judgment. And it's a double-edged sword too, because if you're putting Lasting Judgments on the boss, guess what you're sacrificing?
I don't know, some other debuff slot.
What? No, you're sacrificing your healing. Because that's a GCD that you didn't get to throw into a heal, right? And
it's really good on the dog boss. What's his name before Nefarian?
Cro-Maggot? Yeah, the Wisdom. Yeah, it's such a long fight that the Wisdom is so amazing. That's nice. I've also been putting Light on Firemaw, and they've been fucking loving that shit. So it's a little tricky to put Light on Firemaw, but
if it's 40 seconds, so it's all right.
Oh yeah, well mine's 30 seconds, and it still gets the job done. But anyways, my point is that if you're a min-maxing healer, you wouldn't even do Lasting Judgment because it's going to reduce your healing. And then what's fascinating is the level of lack of respect people have for it in raids. Because I'm literally putting Wisdom up and I'm putting a Light up and I'm keeping it down for people. And then they look at your healing and they're like, oh, dude, your healing is terrible. You suck. And it's like, what the fuck? I'm probably being the most useful paladin around here.
Wait, but let me say this.
Yeah.
Because the content doesn't matter, I would argue don't be useful. Like, it's more important to pretend. This is someone who doesn't actually do this, but I'm just saying, like, unity and pretending is more important than what you actually do.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just saying that for other normal people that want to get geared out as fast as possible, just do that.
There's a weird political game behind it. You know what I mean? It's all a lot of it's about perception, and then a lot of it's about just getting into a good guild who actually recognizes the value of what you're doing over like numbers. Like AFK Mars is that way. The guild you got me in was
I really like them a lot.
They see me putting down Judgment of Wisdom. They're like, I like this fucker. I don't give a shit if his other if his healing is crap. He puts Wisdom down. It saves us gold. It gets us boss kills. It makes things quicker. You know, they see the value. So that's what I respect. Anyways, back to this 31020. I love the fact that it's 100% viable in a raid. Nobody's going to complain about this spec that you took it into raid. In BGs, how do I put this? It's like, unless you've got like the Hand of Rag and the T2, why aren't you healing is my question. I like the fact that it has.
You don't have improved freedom.
That's a big fucking problem. Yeah, you're right. That's a big fucking problem. Yeah, not having.
You don't have 3-minute bop.
Yeah, no 3-minute bop, no improved freedom. Lacking precision kind of sucks. No readout kind of sucks. Improved Hammer of Justice, not having that's a little painful. There's a lot of good stuff in the protection tree that a lot of people. Then again, you got
think it's better for
and
pugging.
Command. You like this for pugging? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, let me break this down. Why? Because if I'm fighting with a bunch of scrub teammates, I don't really need the 3-minute bop.
Correct.
But I really need the 3-minute bop if I'm in a really good pre-made.
Or in duels.
That makes well, yeah, but I'm not even talking about dueling.
Okay.
I mean, most people, people just don't duel. If they duel, they do something stupid. They have a million other things to think about. I don't know. Okay, dueling aside, it's just, if I was in a pre-made, I would go, more tanky and
you're healing.
More utility.
You definitely heal.
And just not even worry about the damage. But in pugging, there's always this you failed to kill that guy and you just gotta light him up real quick.
Well, it's got good burst with the stun judgment holy shock. It's got what?
It misses a lot though.
Which one? Oh, because no precision.
No precision and your holy shocks can miss too.
Yeah.
It'll say they're resisted, but they're actually getting missed.
What the fuck? So it's just like the hand of justice thing that you were telling me about. For those of you who don't know, I was dueling Ruklar last night, and he was kicking my ass. And my hand of justice was getting resisted all the time, and I'm like, man, that's fucking weird. And he's like, oh, well, you're missing 2% hit. It's affected by hit, and I'm like, what the fuck? So apparently he's got a 7%
I've been telling
chance.
you that for 3 years.
Man, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I didn't believe you. But anyway, so you're telling me that Holy Shock is also subject to miss? Or is it the judgment off of Command that you're talking about is subject to miss?
That's also subject to miss. Holy Shock is your spell hit.
Okay.
So you don't have any hit. You don't have spell hit. You don't have melee hit.
Oh no.
Hodge misses.
Oh no. And
everything misses like a motherfucker.
And you're trying to execute a combination that two of them are subject
to Hammer of Wrath.
They're all subject to mischance. Oh fuck.
So let me lay it out to you you trying to pop off, and sometimes you do, and it's successful, right?
Yeah.
But it's very
yeah, I can see that. So it's the Holy Shock is a 5% mischance. The fucking Hammer of Justice has an 8% mischance, and the Judgment has an 8% mischance.
No, not 8, because it's PvP, so it's 5. But they can overcap defense. And they often do if you're fighting a druid or a warrior.
Well, okay, so you mitigate this by getting hit gear. I'm assuming you don't have precision, so I'm assuming you're down 3%.
Yeah,
hit.
You get hit gear, but hit gear always costs you spell power.
Right. So, I'm yeah. Okay.
It's you can't get hit gear and spell power. Those don't.
So I'm calculating.
I don't think there's any good way to do that.
So the overall fail rate of that combo is Seal of Justice probably really helps though if you're good into the seal twisting.
Well, you have to hit them with Seal of Justice. It's gonna miss. And I actually think the proca that gets resisted, spell hit I think it's a melee hit.
Yeah, probably.
It can just say resisted.
Yeah.
When it actually missed.
Okay.
So
I can see that.
It's very random.
Huh.
It's the most random. I mean, you have Holy Shock not Holy Shock, but you have Divine Favor to guarantee 1 crit.
Yeah.
But you really need them to be stunned to get the double damage on your command.
Yes.
So
yeah, I can see that for sure.
Anyways, it still works.
Yeah.
It's not this everyone talks they do the one time, they have the one clip of them igniting one guy, and they act like this is okay. There's a reason I play Reckoning, you can watch me play for 30 minutes straight, and killing all these people.
You can see what works.
And then if you go try to watch a
31-0-20
player, and it's it's my clip. Where's the rest?
What I find funny about watching you duel and stream is, from my perspective, I'm aware of that half the shit you get away with is because the enemy is a fucking retard. And you're also aware that half the shit that you're getting away with is because your enemy is a fuck. I've seen mages walk up to you with 50% of your life left, and they're like, "Kind of cold." They literally just walk up into your reckoning melee range.
Okay, so
Like, what are you
There's
doing?
some things going on here. Wait.
Okay,
Let me defend this a little bit.
Oh.
There is something that it's just there's no paladins on the horde.
Ah.
So, like they don't like when they sit in front of Ogomar, they don't like know
Yeah.
like oh how do I kill? And then they've also been told like
Yeah.
from the dawn of time like oh you beat paladins.
Yeah.
Paladins are so easy to mage. So I
And
find a lot of mages that have
and,
like a
and
million
yeah.
options that they play and they just die because
And then they're walking up to like normal like 31-0-20 paladins who don't have anywhere near the kablam that a reckoning paladin can throw their way.
yeah, and they mix those things. Yeah, so they don't. It happens all the time. They walk up to
They
me
have
and
like
then they're at
2/3 life
75%
and they
health
walk up to you and it's like,
and they
dude, you're
die
dead.
instantly.
You're fucking gonna die. What are you doing? There's like a
No,
90% chance
the
you
best is
explode
when
here.
they just chase me into like Berserk Hut or something.
Oh no!
Oh man,
Like
I mean, the thing is,
yeah,
they learn from that and then they don't do it anymore. But
yeah.
it's just something they have to experience once or twice before they're like, oh, I guess there's this thing that can just hit me for 5,000 or 4,000 damage. I shouldn't just walk into it. But once they get it down, it's easy. I mean,
They're like, yeah, I'm gonna freeze this guy in place and I'm gonna Kona cold him and yeah, crit. It's amazing. Oh shit, he's alive. And I'm like, eye for an eye and wreck charges plus seal of command. You're gonna just explode, bro.
And you can batch bomb really easily. So batch bombing is when they cast like a rank 1 Frost Nova.
Oh no!
And you're right on top of them right when you swing.
Yeah.
You'll do a double hit. But if you have a wreck bomb already charged, you can do like 9 or 7. You can. I've hit people for 6 or 7K doing something called what I call a batch bomb.
Right.
Which is you purposely wait like half a second till when they're going to cast their low ranking AoE or Kona Cold or something that's going to crit, right?
Yeah.
If you swing first and then they crit you right after, you'll get an instant swing at the end of a wreck bomb. So it can literally, not counting command, you can have like, instead of just 5, you can get up to 7 with Hand of Justice. So you can get like 7 instant attacks with 1 to 3 seal command procs. So that's super rare, but it is funny because you can just kill people straight through their ice shield and stuff. And they don't know what happened. They just think you got a bunch of crits, but if they read the combat log, it'll be like, no, it was like 2 crits in there. It was just like 9 attacks.
Yeah, so if Drakova may or may not have explained that decently, so I'll try explaining it for those listening.
Nope.
So
they're never gonna understand. They just gotta play it and they'll see it.
Yeah,
because it's all gimmicky and
so,
it's like
So apparently the spell batching time is like 0.4 seconds or some shit. You can see that very clearly with SOR pushback.
Yeah.
But what he's basically saying is you have this 0.4 second window to swing into your target if you think they're going to cast a spell on you. And it might even be like retroactive. Like you might be able to see the spell cast and then like a fraction of a second later swing at them and get the exact same effect. Am I wrong about that? Do you need to be swinging before or is it just...
So I turn my auto attacks on and off and you need to swing before.
Okay.
But like you might... I'll give you a perfect example. He's in a building. You could kind of hit him through the side of the door before he could possibly hit you with a spell.
And you know exactly when he's going to come around the corner. Yeah.
You purposely hold for like half a second.
Yeah. It's like he's going to come around the corner. He's going to hit that button. I'm gonna swing at him right as he's
going to hit that button. And yeah, I'm going to hit as fast as I can when I get around the corner. He's going to hit the button. And he might trigger another a critical. And normally it goes on your next swing, but when it gets batched like that, it instantly swings.
Yeah.
So if you had 4 counters built up, that's 5 attacks.
Because it is technically putting it on your next swing. So what's
it's batched into the same one.
Right. So
it doesn't really make sense.
What's amazing about that is it has to do with Seal of Command, because Seal of Command can proc both on that extra attack and it can proc on your normal attack. So we're talking about 1 auto attack and 2 Seal of Command procs is essentially what we're talking about right now. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah. So
if you don't have any counters and you get rank 1 Ice Nova right when you swing, it is possible to get 2 instant command attacks.
Yeah, because you get 2 auto attacks and both of those can seal command. Because seal command isn't registered to be on cooldown yet, internal cooldown. Yeah.
It doesn't. It just can't proc on the same. It can't proc on Reckoning. They just did that for whatever reason. I use Hand of Justice, so I hope I'm not misreading how my hand justice is working sometimes. But for sure, you get instant white attacks, and I'm pretty sure you get.
Have you been using this trick against like warriors and rogues, like trying to time your auto attack with their auto attack?
Yes, it took me a long time. I don't put too much heat into it,
Yeah.
but yes, I do.
It's yeah.
It's not that hard. Like if they have a weapon that times
Yeah.
up the same as you,
Uh-huh.
you just swing when they swing, basically.
So
Like so, if you have the same weapon.
talk to me about faster weapons being better because of this.
So, basically, slow weapons we all know are good for reckoning and command. But one little nice thing about fast weapons is they have more batch windows.
Yeah.
Like you have more batch window uptime if it's 0.4 seconds. So
you're actually squeezing out like 20% more seal of command procs just because
well,
you're in more of the
not
batch
really,
windows.
because if you have a slower weapon, it'll give you a better chance to proc your instant attacks. So no,
what I'm trying to comprehend is that if you're fighting a rogue or you're fighting a warrior and you're trying to work,
rogue's
especially
a good one.
and you're trying to work in this batching mechanic, like whether you're doing it actively or you're just doing it passively. What do you think the benefit of it is? Is it like more 20% more, 30% more? 30% more seal commands, 20% more seal commands?
No, it's be really low. I mean, it's
10%?
not that many, but well, let me think about this. If you're swinging when their whites are swinging versus a warrior, because you both have an Ashkandi, I mean, they might just swing like a hamstring and it gets batched with your. I don't know what it is. I mean, but the thing is, even 10%, 5%
Oh
more
yeah,
seal
it's
command
big.
damage is a lot of
It's big.
damage. So I don't.
It's big. Were you doing that shit against me when we were dueling yesterday? You clown. Or do I just attack
I
so
was
fast
sit
you're just like,
strafing, but I was sit strafing and
yeah.
realizing it was dumb because you had such a fast weapon that it's better just randomly get them and not worry
Yeah.
about it. Because
Your
if
parry
you sit
haste
strafe and
was, oh my
fail, you
god.
get critted for nothing.
I,
So
I was probably parry hasting the shit out of you during that fight. That was terrifying. I was just watching your
yeah,
return
well,
swings
that's
were
one of
just
the
like,
reasons I agreed to fight you because
whoa.
Ruklar he has less gear than you.
Yeah. But he's got the right
He does
spec.
have less,
But he's got the right spec, yeah.
significantly less gear than you because it's my alt paladin. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, if I was gonna fight,
Yeah.
a fast swinging holy paladin, I would
That
use a
is the
slow
spec.
reckoning
Yeah.
paladin.
Totally.
So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll
It
fight you. Like, I'm so under geared, but secret, I'm like, well, I'll probably win most of these just because I know how.
And it worked too. I was actually that's why I wanted to try the that's
I
why
didn't win them all, but
yeah, that's why I was going the Akari Manslayer because I was like I cannot afford too much parry haste with the two-hander.
yeah. And when you switched, you noticed that was harder. The Manslayer
Yeah.
was harder because it was slower
Yeah.
and it was more, and like its proc was more like little fast procs and stuff. Like the
Yeah.
Flurry Axe was like feeding me
Yeah,
parry
yeah.
haste and feeding me um, like instant whites
Yeah.
on accident. I wasn't even trying to control it anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely feeding me ret counters.
That was crazy.
So
Those good fights. Yeah, I'm actually a little depressed that I wasn't able to kick your ass given the gear differential, but considering spec, yeah, it worked pretty good. That spec, the parry haste and the reckoning, oh my god. And even the eye for the eye was probably kicking me in the dick a time or two. Yeah, it was painful.
But Holy versus other paladins is good because we can't stop free casting. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
So normally Holy, like that's another thing. 31-0-20 kind of builds really good against other paladins.
Really?
Because you can just free heal. I mean,
okay.
You
you
have
mean
command.
With the holy shock? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. It
Yeah,
is
like,
more valuable to heal yourself
paladin,
than it is to. They put it in damage, and I don't know why. Because
like let's use
yeah.
old Dev Bless. I think was SOR. I didn't know. I didn't look at his spec, but he was probably like 33-18-0. So some points in prot, right? Was he SOR? You got that paladin from Europe that had the Thunder Fury.
Okay.
I'm just gonna assume he wasn't.
You're talking the
spec.
dueling tournament with Thunder Fury. I didn't watch a lot of his duels because when you have a Thunder Fury, there's not much for me to learn. That's my mentality. It's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to learn from this, bro?
It's like a weapon I can't get.
Yeah, did he do
Yeah.
good?
I think he did the best out of all the
Yeah,
paladins.
I'll give him that for sure.
I didn't know. I didn't really watch,
Yeah, I didn't watch
so
either. Anyways,
I don't even know
um,
where I was going with
I
it.
don't know. I kicked my friend's ass with my build 33s. He's 33-0-20.
He beat Ruklar, but I was also a
Yeah,
different spec then.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
probably not as good
He's got a
spec.
hand of rag and all this shit, so it's just impressive that. So I don't know. This spec is okay. So here's a question for
What
you.
is you're zero? You're like
Hmm?
25, 26, 0.
Yeah, I'm like 27, and then the rest isn't
One-handed Holy
protected.
Reckoning.
Yeah, like I got. Yeah, I just yeah. So here's the question. Here's the question I personally have about the 31-0-20, and then I think we'll end the video there.
And a million people are gonna say, oh, it's 33-0-18 or 32-0-19 because there's
That's
different
fine.
variants of
It's
that same
yeah,
thing.
just I don't care. There's a million different variants of this
Yo,
spec.
before anyone says that, yeah, we know. Shut up. We know there's variants of that thing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't actually think anyone actually goes 20 in the ret. I think it's more common to go 19 or 18.
but dude,
But
I'm
anyways,
with 20 points. I'm getting. Let me check. Oh yeah, I don't need 20 points to get eye for an eye, so there's no point.
yeah, just
Oh,
need 18.
but
Yeah.
things you might like to know is I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was going to say the obscure thing that Seal of Justice causes times to reflect damage back to the target, but whatever. The number one thing about the spec is that you can take it into raids and nobody will bitch at you. That's its number one pro. It's
You
also
can take it anywhere.
yeah, and nobody will bitch
And
at
you
you.
can, and no, and the number two thing is you have an excuse to roll on a two-hander.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
See?
yeah,
Like you have an actual like excuse to be like, oh, I need that
yeah,
Draconic Avenger, or
yeah.
oh,
Okay.
everyone has you can get a hand of rag easily with that spec.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So the major problem I have with this spec, in my opinion, is I tell everybody. I tell it. My general response is, it's good, it's serviceable, it's strong, but
Gets fucked by orcs.
other things do better. And they're like what? And I'm like Holy Reckoning. So, do you think Holy Reckoning is a superior spec as far as PvP is concerned than the 31-0-20 or whatever variants of it are?
Solo or group?
Both. Let's start.
Dueling or
Yeah.
group or solo PV? Okay, pugging. You got to tell me pugging, pre-made,
Well, just cycle through.
or
Just
dueling.
cycle through. It'd be like for pugging, for
Okay,
pre-made. Yeah.
pre-made PvP, I would go 31-0-20.
Correct.
I
I
want
would
the
agree.
extra heal.
I would agree.
Okay,
Pugging, I would say
um,
Holy Reckoning. You're just a Swiss Army knife.
pugging. Let me think about this. Pugging.
They might be about even, honestly, because they both got their pros and cons.
Well, I would say this: they're about even, but Holy Reckoning is more fun.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure.
Honestly, because when I go 31-0-20,
Uh huh.
I just put a shield on and heal the whole time, and I have no mechanics to play with. And I
Oh,
don't even get like the cool readout sound effect or
if you had
pop.
if you had a hand of rag, it would be different though, right? Like if you had a hand of rag, you'd be
No,
like, really?
that's the thing. I mean, no, because like you just honestly you just heal. That's what ends up happening if you're really playing it at the highest level. You just heal a lot, unless your teammates are just trash, and then the whole
I,
time
I'm
you're wishing you had
I'm
reckoning.
I'm
Okay,
not.
I'm gonna go with reckoning. Pug,
You
I'm gonna go with reckoning.
you just said pug and playing at the highest level in the same sentence. Not
No, okay,
compatible.
fine. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go Holy Reckoning for Pug, because like you can like someone gets on you,
Yeah.
you can
I
it's
like
more
it for
personal.
rogues because you heal as a two-handed, and if a rogue jumps on you,
And
you just pop your
even
PvP
utility
trinket.
wise, you do have improved freedom. You don't miss your hammer of justice as
Oh
much. It
yeah,
comes up
that
more
would be a big
often.
deal. Yeah, come to think of it,
Like, and you use less. Your crit heal is less of a deal in
I
real PvP,
I
because
hear
real
it.
PvP you're using int to remove
I hear
debuffs and stuff now.
improved concentration aura is actually a thing because
Yeah, improved concentration, or especially once
huh?
people have spell pin in the game, like all of
Ah,
a sudden, like 60 shadow resist. So come phase 5, improved concentration becomes kind of the default. So, okay, at the meta right now,
mm-hmm.
you putting up 60 shadow resist is kind of a big deal.
Yes.
Come phase 5, everyone and their dog has at least 20 spell pin from the AV
Yeah.
ring.
Probably more like 40
And
on
then it's like,
average.
well, it's 40, and it's just that kind of gimps it.
Yeah.
And then I start looking more towards the improved
con. Yeah, that
concentration.
makes sense. Okay.
So
All right.
I'm gonna go pug. It's more fun, and some of the lacking healing gets made up for just being like tankier and like having a 3-minute bop and stuff.
Okay. Open
So I
world.
will go
Open world. Reckoning versus.
open world. Gonna go with anything with reckoning, just because you can pre-charge.
Definitely. I don't
Yeah.
know there's they've
Holy
got
reckoning.
the we're gonna call this the shock command.
You're not gonna kill them with a pre-charge bomb. That's people always tell me like, oh, I can't kill anyone with Holy Reckoning pre-charge. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, you get a big advantage. So
Yeah, no,
you might kill someone.
No, that's the whole purpose of. Okay, so the whole purpose of the pre-charge wreck bomb is you're not looking for a fair fight. You're jumping on them when they're like half mana or a third mana, or they just got beat up a little bit by mobs. You're not looking for a fair fight. And if you find yourself in a fair fight for whatever reason, like you're the one getting jumped, it still forces out all kinds of consumes because they'll be like 10% life. I'm like, oh shit, I need to use this and that. Like if they're
even 50% life,
right?
I mean,
if they're having to use their health potion, and then that frees me up to use a speed potion, I'm a happy camper. Otherwise, I pop speed, they pop speed. Yeah, no, Wreck Bomb is just amazing in open world.
You know what? I will say this though: if I was a normal person that didn't just like
then there's that
paladins all the time,
yeah,
I would go the 31020 because
100%.
the respec is
100%.
You never have to respec.
Yeah.
So.
But I've known people who go this build and then they switch over to Holy Reckoning and they're like, I like Holy Reckoning more.
They like it more, and then someone in their guilds has a wipe, and then they start blaming that little crit.
Yeah, the 5%
heal
crit
right there,
difference, which
gets all weird, and I don't know.
You never run out of mana anyways, and the bonus healing never really comes into effect. So
you can't say that in Nax though and stuff. I mean, not everyone can say that. I mean, we can say that now in BWL, but
right. But then again, Nax might be easy. So, anyways, moving on. Duels.
Yeah, we actually don't know. Yeah. Okay, so dueling. Probably Holy Reckoning. Something I want to bring up about 31020.
Yeah.
Also, this is a big deal. People don't factor this in. Someone's trying to kill my ult. What? I'm like farming. Anyways, you only have a stun every minute.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a big
you're
deal.
Fighting orcs.
Yeah.
Who's like dead. You don't. Okay, so you're fighting orc rogue.
Yeah.
They resist the stun.
Yeah.
You're so dead. Yeah. Like you're dead.
Yeah. And you only have and you only have the 5 and you have a 5-minute bop. That's a big weakness.
Yeah, you have 5-minute bop is really it matters a lot.
And then there's
even fighting warriors.
Yeah, like, without the improved freedom, that would be painful.
Yeah, no improved freedom versus warrior. The kite back
or God,
reset. No, I mean, you have holy shock.
Yeah, you got a holy shock.
Honestly, it's about the same. I don't know. You got holy shock.
Holy shock's got a long cooldown though.
Yeah.
You got eye for an eye, and you got holy shock. So let's just cycle through the various classes.
Well, what I would use. Yeah. Okay, so hunter, I would go holy reckoning. Rogue, I'd go holy reckoning.
Agreed.
Warrior, I'd go holy reckoning.
Agreed.
Enemy paladin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Depends on the type of paladin. It depends on the type.
Depends on the type of paladin. Yeah. They're about equal. It just depends on the type of paladin. I don't want to get into that. It's just going forever.
That's a...
Okay. But where it gets
druid
casters. Okay, druid. If you pick regen gear and you have healing combat, they can't ever kill you.
Pretty much.
They can't. If you pick generic PvP gear, they can own you. But
yeah,
you pick regen gear, they just can't kill you.
Mm-hmm. And you have a good spell.
I know some
you have a good spell power burst. This has a good spell power burst. Well, then again, Holy Reckoning doesn't have a good spell power burst, but it's got good spell power DPS.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah,
it's cheap to do that DPS. It's expensive to DPS. If you try to burst versus the
like
druid,
mana wise.
You'll waste your mana. Yeah. So
It is a mana
okay,
war. Yeah.
but there's feral and there's honestly
There's
I
soda
don't know.
poppins like some weird kiting caster.
He doesn't even use feral charge. He just runs back forever.
Yeah, kiting caster style, and then I go toe to toe with you style. Holy Reckoning shits on the I go to toe to toe with you style. It struggles a bit against the run around and eat and drink style, like the soda poppin style. But you can't die either. All right, so the last class was rogues, warriors, shamans. I think they're about even facing shamans. Maybe slightly 31 favored because you have Holy Shock, just for healing yourself. Having fun over there. All right, I'll talk then.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Someone's trying to murder me.
No, go ahead and kill him. All right, so I would okay. So what do I think against rogues? The biggest problem is that you don't have that stun, and then Blessing of Protection being on a 5-minute cooldown is a big problem because one of the best ways for any of the holy specs to beat a rogue
Got him.
is to waste all of the rogue's cooldowns. And once all of the rogue's cooldowns are gone, then it becomes possible for you to not only kill the rogue, but it becomes impossible for the rogue to kill you while you're trying to kill
I think
them.
a rogue can beat 31-0-20 because you're not tanky enough. You need to have improved shield specialization.
Oh, there's that too. I totally forgot. But yeah,
you need to have Hodge to spread it out.
Your Holy Shock is really helping you, but I don't think it's helping you anywhere near as much as what you're losing.
The rogue knows the fight.
Right. Like you're facing.
I honestly think you can't beat a good rogue.
Yeah, Perplexity would probably kick your ass. Well, we're not going to get into
never
how.
Mind.
Look, Perplexity knows what he's doing.
Look,
you got to give him that.
Just say like any rogue that knows the fight.
Yeah.
I think can beat. Will have good odds against.
Especially if they're orc.
Especially
if they're an orc.
Yeah. If they're orc, it's almost guaranteed win because they can just keep resetting until they get a juicy resist.
Okay, so here's a big question with this build versus a rogue. With Holy Reckoning, it is paramount that you how do I put this? That the rogue is losing health faster than you during those toe-to-toe evasion fights. Because if the rogue's not losing health faster than you, you have to bubble to reset.
Only if you're allowing faps. I don't know. You can stun. You don't have to go toe-to-toe.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you're using faps, you don't have to go toe-to-toe.
Like,
okay, explain.
Why would you have to? They usually should win slightly. Well, I mean, it means that they're like sword, spec, or dagger and stuff. But
what rogues want to do is they open up on you, and then rather than blinding you and then opening up on you again, they use their evasion to try to chunk your down life, to try to threaten you life wise enough that they force the bubble, right? Especially if they're an orc, because they're going to try to get that stun resist on you. But if you can do more damage to them than they're doing to you in that toe-to-toe phase, it forces them to blind you, and so you don't have to bubble. So at least you're trading your bubble for their blind. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to go toe-to-toe with them in evasion if you have your Hodge up.
No, I agree 100%. The problem is if the Hodge gets resisted, number one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, or
so they're at least gonna willing to roll those dice when they're an orc because
they have way too many options at that point. If it gets resisted, you're so smoked. I mean,
as Holy Reckoning, you still have a chance though, even if it gets resisted, because odds are when you came out of you're probably swinging in Edward the Odd, for example, right? So it's like, oh, you resisted my Hodge. Okay, at least there's other.
I wouldn't do Edward Odd. It's too chancy. You trying to get a proc, relying on a proc to win.
Okay, in that case, you go Manslayer.
Ebon Hand, like Ebon Hand or bigger, like Deathbringer.
Deathbringer.
If you can't get a Deathbringer,
right?
That's the problem.
But that argument, that argument is still an argument of. It's like, you resisted my stun, but I'm going to kill you before you kill me. Therefore, you have to do the reset. Right? I'm trying to explain how important it is in those toe-to-toe fights that you win that.
You do have to go to toe-to-toe. Well, I'll just say that there are moments they can set it up accurately, or right where you have to do some damage while they're in invasion. That's a good way to say it.
Yes.
And You might not have to go toe to toe per se. It largely depends on gear and specs.
Agreed.
But
But either
those toe to toe
yeah,
phases go really bad if you're anything but reckoning.
correct. Yeah, so we're in agreement on that. If you don't have reckoning, that toe to toe phase can be a nightmare for you, especially if they don't work.
It's like your Hodges resistors. You're like, I mean,
How does
to
Deep
that
Ret
point.
deal with it? They don't have reckoning.
Hey, 1 second. Can you pause?
Yeah. Okay. 1 second.
1 second.
Pausing. All right. So we were talking about this spec versus rogues being difficult for a toe to toe fight. I'm just going to move on to a different class because that's kind of self evident. I was asking you how Deep Ret
A lot of
deals with
times,
it.
by the way, people don't really think about this. I use even as command spec.
Yeah.
If I have like a rogue doing like ghastly plus like evasion,
Okay.
I might actually go for justice or seal of righteousness, even if I'm spec command,
Yeah.
because
Just get some heals.
okay, if
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
but well, the justice was a good guess because you can flash, but I just don't think it's enough health,
No, you can
especially
holy
if I'm
light. You can
command spec.
holy light off of justice, bro.
Yeah, but that's you can, but I rather try to judge it,
It
and
is
then
it is
that gives you a
risky
GCD.
because you might get kicked because you have to like pre-charge the heal even before you see the results of the swing. So okay, and continue.
But no, well,
What do
let
you
me
do? What do you
let
do?
me
What
break
do you do?
this.
Yeah, yeah.
You have SOR because it can't be dodged, and so if you happen to land a white,
Mm-hmm.
you can the SOR will proc and it will double your proc chance, and that let's say you have a Deathbringer, like if you have command, not
Oh,
only will
seal
your
a
command
casino.
hit be
Yeah,
dodged, but
yeah.
you'll have less chance to proc a
So the seal a casino negative is
proc.
just too severe.
Yeah, like if they have too much evasion, like
Mm-hmm.
they have ghastly and evasion up, you're just like you literally, if you think about your command damage is at 10%. So if you do get lucky enough to land a white, you're gonna want seal of righteousness does more damage than command if command's only doing 10% damage.
No, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. How how
But you also can use go
how,
ahead.
how does Deep Ret deal with the evasion fights?
So you first of all you need to have a shield, so you need to have readout.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I watched Sfan do it. He
uh,
executed it pretty good.
well,
But
like I
he had
don't think
fucking
he took
Thunder Fury,
improved
so I don't
shield
know.
specialized
Pretty sure
spiel.
he didn't. Pretty sure he didn't. And he has a
He
fucking
just didn't
Thunder Fury, so I can't learn anything from that.
he doesn't practice that. He doesn't know that one. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. He doesn't practice it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he doesn't. He
Yeah,
just
because he was barely not
he's
dying, but he
busy, I
has a
guess.
Thunder Fury, which is my brain is like, if you didn't have Thunder Fury, you'd be fucking
Mm,
dead. Am I wrong about that? Or do you go Edward the Odd? Or do you go Manslayer?
Because you don't. Yeah. So you can go SOR and do a Thunder Fury versus a Rogue. What you need to do is
He was
be
Reckoning, so
tanky
that's
and
a
heal
really bad
yourself.
example. How do you deal with a Deep Ret?
Oh,
Fighting, yeah.
which fight? No, his first fight,
Mm-hmm.
he was
Deep
deep
Ret,
red of
yeah.
some sort.
And he got his butt kicked because his decision making was terrible. So I couldn't really judge.
I don't know. I'd have to watch the fight. I didn't really watch it, so
Okay.
I can't really comment. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general that it's you go shield and you heal yourself, but like you can't just be like
Do you repent
there's a lot
them?
of little detail to it.
Like you just
Yeah, of
rely
course,
on your
repent
stun
heal.
and your repent and go heal off of that?
Yeah, and you got sometimes you got to cleanse. Like if they're using poison, you
Would
have to cleanse
would
preemptively start cleansing
yeah.
before, so
Would
you have to like
would
set
you
it up.
would you run away like a bitch and try to time them out? Like
Time what?
like let's say they go evasion and they want to go toe to toe with
Oh
you.
yeah,
So you're
a
like
lot of
repent,
times. No,
heal,
no,
run.
it's deep red. No, all the
Yeah.
time. I
Okay.
actually had this fight with this rogue. This was like literally in 2005, 2006, and like he was sitting there saying like,
Oh, he's gonna kick your ass and blah blah blah.
no, you can like. There's nothing.
Oh God.
Basically, he can pick the fights versus me, and I can't pick the fights versus him. I was like, well, yeah, but I can heal while you're in stealth, so that kind of helps.
Yeah.
You can heal someone while you're in stealth. And then he was like, well, I have so much more control because I can pick the fight. And I was deep red at the time, but I was control red, so I had PvP gear, so I had 35-second hammer of justice, I had
Oh shit.
repentance,
Yeah, he's not killing
and
you
I
anytime
had
soon.
improved shield specialization. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
That's what part of the reason I like, because if you okay, I'm not a fan of deep ret with consecration or not consecration the spell.
Yeah.
Because to go deep ret, there's many matchups you need to have a shield. If you're fighting a warrior, you might want to go shield, so you can draw out the fight and get more judgment damage in, and you go more spell power.
Yeah, and with PvP gear, it's extremely hard to argue that 35-second stun isn't the best, right?
Like and you're relying, as deep ret, you're relying on vengeance and more spell power and stuns to do your damage. So you want to have
your repents and your stuns are both offensive and defensive, heal or damage, and just cycling those.
And you need to, so like the PvP gear works well with that, and then lowering the Hammer of Justice works well with that.
So, anyways, back to your story.
To stay alive, you need to have improved shield specialization. It's super important for dueling, especially if you don't have Reckoning.
Okay,
you need to have it.
So
I'm pretty sure.
Was this a story about you kicking a guy's ass, or was this a story?
Well, what was my story to this rogue? He was talking about how much control over the fight he had, and I said, okay, I want you to try to kill me, but instead of me like fighting you, I'm just gonna see how long I can live. It literally took him like 7 minutes or longer. Like it wasn't even 7. Honestly, I think it we didn't even kill each other. I was just running around forever because he pops evasion and it's like, okay, repentance and run in that direction. He pops this, stun and run in that direction. Yeah. Run and heal, and I was regenning, and it's like
what Holy Sax was doing. Holy Sax was amazing at running away from rogues. Like, I can't do that. I'm not that good at running away from rogues.
But you have repentance too, and you have but you also got to go. I don't know. Did Holy Sax even take shield specialization? That's why it's so important.
He was ret reckoning. He was ret reckoning, and he was running around.
Yeah, but you couldn't get him. I carry improved shield. So S-Man, I know for a fact, didn't take improved shield specialization when he did go ret reckoning.
We better take toughness.
In a dueling tournament, you need to go read out with improved shield specialization
or toughness. I can see an argument of toughness against a rogue over improved shield ice.
If you're reckoning, you still get 3 points in toughness out of 5.
Okay, all right.
You need to get block value increased. Trust me.
Okay,
and it helps you space out to your next play.
Totally.
Like your next.
No, I agree.
Because you can't actually hurt the rogue if their evasion's up really high. Yeah. So, anyways, it took the guy literally forever, and I was like, I could have ran from Blackrock Spire to Iron Forge or something before you killed me. So the point you're gonna jump me anytime in World PvP, but if I just put a shield on and start running, it's
even funner if you find a mob and use him to stop all the blinds and shit. And you're just like, what are you gonna do? The fuck you gonna do, bro?
I mean, it's not. The spec matters, and these talent points make all this difference.
Yeah, I agree.
If I was 31-0-20 and I fought that same rogue, I would probably just run out of CC and kill over and die. Yeah. If I'm rotating through CCs super fast because I have my spec build around it, I'm gonna get. And I have also things to stretch out my HP bar, shield specialization.
I think improved blessing of protection becomes a big deal in the longer fights versus rogues. Because your 3-minute bop lets you get to your next bubble, which lets you get to your next bop, which lets you get to your next bubble. It's
and actually, this brings up, that's totally true. And another thing, rogues don't understand, and paladin players don't understand this either, is the improved shield specialization. We're just called shield talents.
Yeah,
the shield talents. What allows you to do, I've done this a lot as a non-reckoning paladin. I will literally bop like an early kidney, and they see that, and they're like, oh my god, I have a full minute to wreck this guy.
Meh.
And they blow all the cooldowns, but because you have the shield talents and you have repentance and hodge, you just go real defensive. And then you make it to your DS, and now they literally they go ham.
That's a fascinating line of play. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you bop preempt almost like a retard,
especially if it's a
early,
3-minute bop.
Wow.
Especially if it's a 3-minute bop, because you're just gonna get it back again.
And they throw out way too much, and they can't get through your health bar before it's over because it's not like a reckoning.
Oh man, I love PCs. That line of play because you're showing stupid too. And you're showing stupid early. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
before
yeah.
they can really judge you. Yeah, it's
So
really
so
good.
they stun you. You bop the stun, or maybe you let them beat. We didn't have reckoning, so there's no point in letting them beat on you a bit, right?
Yeah, you don't let them beat on you. You just do it really early,
Uh
like
huh.
the first
Like a
kidney, and they're
fucking
like,
retard.
I'm gonna kill this guy in the one
Yeah.
minute timer now.
You
That's
might
what
you
goes
might
through
as
their head.
well
Like,
you might as well do some backpedaling and some keyboard turning while you're at it. Like really sell
yep,
it.
probably. No, I mean it totally works. I bop the kidney, and then I'm way tankier than they expect because they think, oh, Rat Pally, like,
That's funny. Yeah,
and
and
and then they're like, what? And they're like,
yeah,
oh, he has repentance. I didn't expect that. And then you get like another heal off,
yeah.
and then you actually survived to that 1 minute timer, and they've thrown out like a ton of stuff,
Question.
and all you traded them was a bop.
Question. How good of a line of play is that if you get caught by like a rank 14 rogue and you're in your two-handed weapon and you instantly look at the situation and you're like, I do not want to sit through this shit with a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, I mean that's another reason you would do it super early,
Yeah,
and
just
they're
get to your
definitely
shield as
if they
quickly as
outgear you,
possible.
they're gonna be like, he's dead.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good line of play. I didn't think about
Sorry,
that. That would
nothing.
totally work. Huh. So,
But I mean, if they outgear you too much, honestly, if they outgear you too
yeah.
much, and you're that spec,
Yeah.
and they're like sword rank 14, I mean, they should kill you anyways.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. I mean, but at least you have a chance.
So this is a good line of play if you don't have reckoning. This is not a line of play you would take if you had reckoning.
Yeah, because you need the repentance to survive the 1 minute.
Ah, okay, makes
Yep.
sense. Yeah, and
You need a
reckoning,
repentance,
and with the reckoning, you probably want the charges on your two-handed weapon anyway. It's a completely
and
different
you probably want
ballgame.
the charges to
Yeah. Okay,
make them trade something.
that makes sense.
Maybe trade their AGM or something like
It,
that.
but this is not a line of play that a 31-0-20 paladin could do. Clearly.
Yeah, like, so
Yeah.
if you're 31-0-20, you have to hold on to your stuns like they're the holy grail
Yeah. Pretty
versus
much.
a rogue, because like, and if one of them gets
Yeah.
resisted, then that's your bubble, and at that point they probably have enough
Or you got
cooldowns
to
that
find
they
a way to
can
use the
chain
grenade
stuff and you're
stuns. You
dead.
got to find a way to heal off the grenade stuns, and that's actually really hard to
Yeah,
do. It's a lot harder
that's
to do versus rogues than people
actually, and
think.
I a lot of times grenades versus
Hmm.
rogues is not about when they're on top of you.
Yeah. No.
It's when they're re-stealthing,
Right.
because I don't know how many times I've won fights because a rogue goes into stealth.
Yeah.
I have my auto attack turned off and I'm not targeted,
Uh
so I
huh.
don't have it assigned. They run into the re-stealth and they're running back in to
Yep.
resap to restart.
Yep.
I throw the grenade
Uh huh.
and, well, they're actually in stealth, and I knock them out of stealth, and then I just wreck bomb them off that, and they're
Yeah.
like dead, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can still stun me even though I'm in stealth."
It gets 10
That's
times worse if you have precision because even if you miss the grenade, your precision might catch. You see them in stealth and you're like, oh, I'll just hodge you now or something.
no, I wouldn't say it was 10 times, because they can usually, if they usually sprint back in
Oh, you
to
wouldn't hodge
avoid.
them. You would judge them so that puts them in combat and then you swing into them and then they're like, oh, fuck.
So they can gouge. They can,
Yeah.
because if
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
ran back, their gouge will be reset at that point.
Yeah.
So the play is to actually stun them,
I'm
like,
I'm not a big fan of throwing grenades at rogues when they're stealthed.
while they're in
You
stealth.
disagree because
That's, oh yeah.
you just
That's like when you do it.
you just described a scenario where you're throwing grenades at rogues in stealth.
Yes.
I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. Why am I wrong?
No, because okay, so you can set it up where there's a window
Right.
where their only
Right.
intelligent line of play is
Is
to
to
run
turn
out of
around
range
and
of
run
the
at you. Yeah.
run out of range out of like something,
Yeah.
and then run back towards you, sprinting and stealth, because when you see them do that, you pop precision, so
Yeah.
then they're like, okay, I got to use sprint,
Okay.
and you can, and as they're running back, they like a second or two before they get on top of you,
Yeah.
they'll go back into stealth, and you throw a grenade
Yeah.
there.
I'll agree with that 100%.
I'd even
If they're
I'd even
telegraphing
walk
where they're
backwards.
going, I'm fine with it.
But they have to telegraph, because you're doing something like healing yourself.
Oh, you're running
So maybe they
away, healing,
sprinting
eating,
back.
drinking. Yeah. You're drink
So
walking away from them.
you start healing,
Hmm.
or you do something to
Yeah.
put pressure where they want to sap you. What they want to do is they want to sap you
As
and then eat
quickly
and
as
drink for
possible.
free.
Yeah. As quickly
They
as
want to run out
possible.
of range, sap, eat
Yeah.
and drink, but they're running out of range, and you just grenade them and say and land a full bomb. And usually that situation happens when they're
Mhm.
already at half health.
No, agreed.
It's absolutely
Or they're like
critical. It's
10%
absolutely,
life. And yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
well, I mean,
So, question.
They might, if they're 10%, they're more likely to just run all the way and sit in stealth for like 20 minutes and regen.
So here's my
Like
question. Uh,
restart the fight completely. That's a
I
soft
I
reset.
I do a completely different line of play, and my question on my mind is suddenly: is that because I have consecration? Because you've seen my consecration move
You
and
can
stuff,
consecrate and run to the other side of it,
right?
like rank one
So
consecrate.
and I can kind of I can manipulate where the rogue is with the use of consecration, and then perception and grenade are my
Yeah,
lines of
you
play.
can, but the problem with that
Hmm.
is they can probably, if they're good, they can probably still get the sap on you.
And I'm usually not using
Uh,
grenades. I'm usually using sapper charge.
let me explain something
All right.
though. I didn't get to really explain this. So you can make them run back at you to sap you if they're doing a soft reset, because
Yes.
if they're at 10%, they're
Yep.
probably not going to risk anything because of batching. They're going to be too afraid. They're going to run into stealth and take forever to sap you.
You're talking about with
But when they
consecrate or
want,
without consecrate?
without reckoning
Okay.
pally,
Okay.
or just any pally, they don't want. Nobody wants to chance something when they have 10% health. They want to do a hard reset
I don't know. They
normally.
think they're MLG
So
and they
that,
try to get away with shit, and that's my
well,
experience.
they okay. Well,
All right, continue.
they die just the same to the grenade stealth if they do that.
All right.
But but there's a window,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to learn when it is
50%
where they
paladin. He's running away. Rogue. He runs away. He drops combat. He's either A, showing he's running away, but then the moment he goes stealth, we assume he flips around and
but
runs at us,
it
or
doesn't
he's
matter
dumb
why. I'm
enough.
just
Okay.
explaining. There's a soft reset window that he doesn't want a hard reset because he doesn't want a forbearance or like a stun to come
Yeah.
up. So he's doing a soft reset. I mean, I don't know if that's a good way to
What
put
if
it.
you discombobulate a Raven?
There is a window when they're going to run away from you and come back
No,
towards you
I've seen it. I know exactly
as
what you're
fast as
talking about.
possible,
Yeah.
and they're going to try to sap you,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get under some sort of stun
Yeah.
or forbearance.
No, I
So they
agree.
don't want to waste time running around
Yeah.
in stealth.
Yeah. I know the
And
window.
they always beeline it straight back towards you, and you can hit them in
Yeah.
stealth with the grenade without even seeing them. And it's a lot easier than you
Yeah.
think. Try it,
Yeah. It's about
and you'll be
it's
surprised how many
about
times you land.
yeah, it's about a 50% success chance, but that tactic begins to
Not 100%.
fail. That tactic begins to fail at the higher levels, which is why I don't like relying on it. Right? Like if you're fighting like a stab or a perplexity, then that thing begins because it'll do a little juke move before
No,
coming
Erica,
and
I
running
didn't
at
remove
you.
that. Maybe the baby did. I don't know. I haven't been on that side. Okay. Um.
Anyways, so yeah,
So.
okay, so we're done
But
with
the specs that it's good with, it's real. I gotta be quicker about
yeah
this.
yeah.
I kind of like actually 31-0-20 builds versus Ellie Shaman because
I can see
I don't
that.
know. You can't really kill each other, but you
Yeah.
can just kind of run away and heal yourself
So yeah,
pretty well. And Eye for an Eye
yeah,
lowers health and
yeah. Eye
grounding.
for an eye is a big
The
deal.
Eye for an Eye will break the grounding totem, and then you can stun them. So when they're
Yeah.
nuking you, so they nuke you and it
Hmm.
hurts, and you can break the grounding totem, stun them, and then heal even easier.
Well,
Or if you're Holy Reckoning,
yeah.
you can't break it without actually targeting the totem, and you might be
No.
way far away from it.
Well, no, what you do as Holy Reckoning is you just put your judgment into them. You try to judge damage, the totem goes away, and then you do Seal of Justice because it's not on a global cooldown. So it's
But
like
the range, there's a range difference between that
which is why
because
you have to run at them, obviously. The other
it's 20
option,
yards to 10 yards.
yeah, the other option
So
is when you're swinging your wreck bomb into them, the lifesteal proc kills the grounding totem. So if you stun them with the Justice and they trinket the Justice stun, then you can hammer a Justice them because odds are the lifesteal
have you
proc
been
killed
doing
their
that?
totem. No, I haven't tested it yet.
It
This
probably
is
works.
pure theoretical.
Okay. I wanted to test that. I just didn't know if it was test. I know
the
that you can
lifesteal, I have tested
ignore
that.
the
Yeah,
grounding.
it kills the grounding
I know you
totem.
can ignore the grounding totem.
Yeah.
I just wanted to actually
The lifesteal
try
proc
that
does
in a
kill
duel.
it does kill the grounding totem
I know
because
that everything kills the grounding totem,
it's just pretty funny. Anyways.
but the thing is, you can just be beelining it away from the shaman. You don't have to like step back towards them, and that's important because you're trying to
Yeah.
minimize burst.
Well,
and if you step towards them, you're gonna be in close to like a fire totem or
yeah.
something. So it's really that 10 to 20 yard difference
What's
matters. So
Yeah. What's really nice about the 3120 versus the Elemental Shaman, besides just the eye for an eye, is the fact you can probably win a mana war versus them. And then it's just a matter of jumping on their bitch ass with like
They can
a mug of
still,
hurt and just
yeah,
beating the shit out of them.
yeah. A lot of fighting Ellie Shaman in a duel scenario is just mana.
It is a mana war.
Like if
Even
you all in, they
unless
always
you're
beat you. I think.
yeah, even when you're like the I'm going all in DPS Reckoning eye for an eye build,
You
even
should
that
usually
one
lose that too.
turns into a mana war. It's really weird
Yeah,
because
oftentimes.
yeah, odds are you'll bomb them though. You'll drop them to like 10% mana or 10% health. They go, oh shit, and then they start trying to heal themselves. But then you're beating on them while they're trying to heal themselves, and then they have to waste even more mana. And then yeah, it all ends in a mana war. Is
But
what I'm trying to say.
they nuke you too, and you have to heal, and you don't
Right.
have
So
much
then
mana.
you're healing and they're healing, and
It
it's
doesn't
fun.
always end in a mana war, but you're right. More than most fights,
Yeah.
that's a mana fight that
Yeah.
happens.
Either one of you
I would.
exploded or it turns into a mana war.
My experience is the
Kind of
Ellie
interesting.
Shaman in generic PvP gear has the advantage, but I would say that if you were doing like best of three, I would say
Ooh.
the Ellie Shaman has an 80% chance to win.
You mean like the tournament rules
Two of the
where you
yeah,
immediately you eat,
if
you drink, and then you duel again. Okay.
if you put Ank and you put Lay on Hands in the tournament,
Yeah.
the one round where a Paladin Anks, I mean the Paladin uses Lay on Hands, it's more powerful than Ank in the 1v1 fight.
Arena
But
Grandmaster, that's Ink. Arena
no,
Grand.
that's the Shaman self-res thing, which you can't even use in
Oh,
dueling tournaments.
right.
But like if you're in world
Mm-hmm.
PvP and you have Lay on Hands up, you'll have actually a tiny advantage over an Ellie Shaman who was relying on Ank to win.
Gotcha.
But in a like a best of three, the LA Shaman only has a minor disadvantage on the fight with Lay on Hands and a significant advantage in the fights where he can when there's no Lay on Hands. So it's kind of weird because I
I
usually
think his big advantage is the fact that his burst is on a 3 minute cooldown and your bubble's on a 5 minute cooldown. And
that's huge, and
and
also
that's on you to play around as the paladin.
there's also it's just like in general it's like Purge is strong, and then like
Purge is weak.
honestly a big part,
Like, I don't know.
yeah, it's strong.
It's both strong
It's
and
still it's
like
Reckoning, it's versus Reckoning is different. It's
oh
an
okay
endurance
okay
fight
yeah
versus Holy Reckoning.
yeah.
It's like
I'm gonna laugh my ass
it's
off
kind of
as
overrated. Yeah, it's kind of
Kings,
overrated. It's
Purge,
expensive on
Kings,
mana,
Purge. I'm like okay, I
or just
win.
low ranking Wisdom. They can't tell
Oh
the
yeah
difference, and they
yeah
still
yeah
need to get
yeah
rid of it.
yeah. It's pretty funny.
So, but we're talking about Reckoning. You
Oh
don't
yeah, I
like
can see that.
that's not true. You need might. Like if you bomb someone without might, you lose so much damage,
Yeah.
and the shaman will always remove it.
And
So
you desperately want a max rank seal too, just because the extra damage. You really need that damage, the judgment.
one of the biggest problems is that Eye for an Eye gets eaten by
Grounding
grounding
totem.
totem,
Yeah.
and that can be like
That's like a
a lot of
thousand damage
damage.
a lot of times.
Yeah, they just eat up 1,000 damage. So like, if you can't remove that grounding totem before they nuke you, which is you can't actually if they're ready for you, then you know. But if you actually think about how Reckoning
What if you
works and
close
think
with a
about how Lay on
grenade?
Hand
Like
works,
you just use your grenade to
see,
close
that's
with
not saying
them and
about
get the
close a
grounding
grenade
totem.
and then remove it
Yeah.
exactly. That's like the one thing. But I have problems where it just like gets resisted because they're always a
Yeah.
bloody orc.
Yeah. Well, which is nice these days because a lot of them are going with the
I
war
was thinking
stomp,
about
which I find
closing with
funny.
Tidal Charm, like,
Ooh. Hmm.
and then just let it get eaten,
Well, to be
and
perfectly
then like
honest,
then Hodge
they
is up, and then like
they hate the Skelly Pet. If you have Skelly Pet, they
yeah.
fucking hate that thing because they don't have any ability. It just gives them pushback issues out the ass. So it's pretty
So
funny.
well, that's the thing. But the one of the problems with I'm gonna say a problem with the Skelly Pet. The Skelly Pet is
Long
what I would
cooldown. Sometimes
recommend
it's banned
to
from
increase your
tournaments. Yeah.
chances. But first of all, Skelly Pet is kind of weird in real PvP. Like you can really have your Skelly Pet on you. It's really a dueling gimmick.
Hmm.
But then second of all, it does kind of suck to get your counters on your one-hander when it's such a bursty fight.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
If I yeah, Reckoning that's bad. Holy Reckoning is a different story.
yeah. So I
So
mean,
so
it's I think it's still worth it,
what's good about
but you have to pop it
31?
like at really far range.
What's good about the 31020 against Shaman? You just can heal you
Um,
can't really die with Holy Shock kind of a
well,
scenario.
first of all, if you had enough nature resist, you
Yeah,
would just not get
obviously.
bursted, and if you just kind of stay out of the shock range or just at the edge of the shock
and you
range.
only need like 100 nature resist. We're not even talking
Well,
like stacked
unless they
nature
have
resist.
pen, they should have
Well,
pen
pen
though.
is a different animal. If you're talking about going nature resist in a world of pen, I would smack you. I think I'd be like, no, you
No,
use
it's not that bad. You
really.
can get enough.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just like gear you're probably not going to get.
Hmm.
But if they're going,
Because you can get like 5,000 hit points,
so
120,000 nature,
yeah,
120
you
nature
need to
resist.
just. It doesn't look like what people think. It's people are like, oh, my class beats your class, and they think, oh, that means you run up to them and you attack them. I was like,
Oh no, no,
you
not at
beat
all.
them by
Not at all.
staying at a certain range, and you don't
Yeah.
actually beat them. It's kind of like druid and paladins. Like
Yeah.
whoever commits loses.
Correct.
Whoever commits is the one who
Pretty
loses.
much.
And the Ellie Shaman has plenty of opportunities to be like, oh, I'm like doing this wrong and I'm running out of mana.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I need
leave.
to find
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a window to leave and
Yeah.
eat and drink and try again.
Yeah.
And then it's like
If
then
in my experience, if they choose to boogie, like to run away at a third mana, it's futile for me to try to pull offense on that because they got enough mana to heal themselves.
yeah.
If they drop below 30%, I can probably still catch them with like movement speed enhancing trinkets or speed potions and all that kind of stuff. There might be an opportunity
So
to kill them, but
they have too many
it's the
opportunities to be
same thing
like
with a mage, right? Like sometimes mages are like, "Oh, I'm getting out of here at a third mana," and I'm like, "I can't offense on that. It's still got too much mana."
one of the best things you can do against mages that people don't do enough of is if you're winning the encounter and they're gonna have to sheep you, don't heal the fool. Let their sheep heal you so you can
Yeah,
save your mana.
yeah, that is a mistake I make a lot, but it's hard
Everyone
to
heals the fool, and it's like,
judge.
yeah,
What I
because sometimes
yeah
I think I don't need to heal, and because I think I'm winning, and then they do like 2 crits in a row. I was like, oh, I'm not winning. I should have healed more.
yeah
But the thing is, the mage fight is such a hard fight that you have to
take
get it
chances.
down to the. Yeah, you got to get it to the wire. You can't like
Yeah,
just waste mana and waste resources and time and even seconds. You can't waste
this
anything.
is what I find hilarious about these duel tournament rules when they're like 3 sheeps and no more, and I'm like,
That's actually
what?
really
It's like,
generous for paladins.
oh, like that's like
Well,
they need 10. They need 10 sheeps to kill us. They need it.
no, they don't need it.
Fuck
But
you. They need
three
10.
sheep, no, they don't.
Well,
But three
you're gonna
sheeps makes
shrug
a
off
very
2.
fair fight.
Are you gonna shrug?
Three sheeps
You
is
think
pretty
so?
fair.
Really?
No, because you're talking about like yeah, your average Joe mage, but what
Okay.
about a really good mage doesn't need 10 sheeps?
Well, okay.
And you're in a
So,
tournament.
well, you can bubble one off and you can trick it another. That leaves them with 1 sheep.
Yeah, but if you bubble a sheep off, they have other. They can
Mhm.
be at range and kind of semi reset
I'm
without a
I'm
sheep
I'm
sort
probably
of.
thinking from a Holy Reckoning's perspective, which just takes if you go defensive in Holy Reckoning, it's going to take them a million years to kill you. That's when I'm
I don't
talking 10
agree.
sheeps. You disagree?
I just think you're not fighting mages optimized enough.
You're probably right. I'm probably over exaggerating.
You're not fighting mages
They
who
probably
are
need 5 sheeps if they play it really crisp.
no. 3 sheeps is
How
still
how
advantage to
many
the
of them
mage.
waste their mana though? Like even at the top tier, how many of them are like so liberal with their use of their mana? If they're doing
I
it
haven't
right,
fought a top tier mage in a while, but
if they're being super mana conservative, they're almost doing nothing but using
no.
frostworks.
The only reason you'll beat mages
Mhm.
at a high tier is just because there's no fucking paladins in front of Ogrimmar. They just don't know the fight.
There's that.
Like they might be really good against every other class, and then
Yeah.
they know like, okay, well, I beat paladins, so I don't need to train against
Oh, I'm
them.
probably thinking Henhouse where they didn't have any pen gear and you could kind of get
Dude,
some
Hen House was
resistances going.
retarded because the scaling on some of their stuff, like the medicine bag, was wrong.
Mm.
And like Ret Reckoning, so physical Ret Reckoning got buffed versus mages, and physical Ret, like spell power got nerfed. So like
Yeah.
mages have a complete. If you beat paladins on Hen House, does not mean you beat them in classic.
Yeah.
They're different, and one of the matchups we won out on is versus mage,
I
because
agree.
physical Ret Reckoning was buffed. So like, um,
There's also the gear issue.
like
It's much easier for a paladin to get decent gear than it is for a mage to get the best gear
no, it's
possible.
not.
Do you disagree?
Man, you just keep talking like Holy Reckoning. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Reckoning is the hardest thing in
Yeah,
the
no, you're
fucking
right. You're
game.
right. You're right. You're right. You're
There's
right. You're
nothing
right. You're
harder
right.
than Ret
You're
Reckoning in the
right. You're
entire
right.
game.
You're
You're
right.
out.
You're right. Well,
And Ret Reckoning is
no,
worthless in
that's not.
every
That's not true.
PvE way.
What if you just go rank 14 gear? Can't you get the job done?
I mean, no.
Wow.
like,
Okay.
I, no.
Did you not know I didn't know
need,
Ret Reckoning very well? Is this news to you?
no,
The
well,
fuck?
that's pretty. I mean, honestly, okay, I'm being fair, but you need a mix of PvE. Ret Reckoning. So Ret Reckoning has a smaller gear window than even like Mortal Strike Warriors. Like,
Wow.
I'll give you an example. Like, we have to use mega slow weapons.
Yeah.
Like, but once we use them, it's like we reach some sort of power that people still don't know exists.
Nah.
So,
Yeah.
like, Ashkandi is too fast.
It
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
even with the thing with the increased white instance.
Hand of Rag is
Like,
what would you? Hand of Rag is only replaceable by Might and Menacel. Am I right about that? Or is there an AQ weapon?
No, you're wrong. There's that polearm AQ. I would actually probably for Ret Reckoning, unless I was fighting a caster that used fire damage, I would use the GM weapon. For the 40 stamina and like the
Grand Marshal. Yeah, that's why I said rank 14. I was like, dude, rank 14.
You're right about the weapon, and you're right about the 3-piece.
It's got
I'm sorry. I gotta be.
Like,
it's good. It's just it's the shoulders, boots, and hands are just not very good, and you kind of need to supplement it.
What about AQ?
Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, you can probably supplement your rank 14 gear as a warrior
with T2.
But honestly, if you have rank 4,
because it's got stats, but it's you need mana, right?
No,
am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
Ret Reckoning, no. I would only substitute for 2-2 if I was fighting a feral druid or a rogue. I'd go 3-piece PvP, 5-piece.
So what are you ideally mixing with your rank gear for Ret Reckoning?
Well, like if I was fighting Hunter, I would go like rocket helm, rocket boots. If I was fighting like something else, like I mean, I would go like chromatic boots, Drake Fang talisman. I mean, not talisman, Drake Fang pauldrons, endless rage. Maybe not endless rage.
And those are hard to get. I take it over the fucking Fury Warriors.
Like chromatic boots. I mean, who's gonna give a chromatic boots to a Ret Valley? But they need them. So Ret Reckoning needs that, and it's like, oh well, Ashkandi's too fast. Actually, I need a new weapon, guys. Like, no, it's like literally, it's really really powerful.
I hate it when they give you an Ashkandi. Like my guild offered me.
Ashkandi's strong. No, it's really strong. It's almost like, so I don't even want to say what I'm about to say because then some hunters are going to use this forever.
Paladins.
But I feel like I'm going to say something dirty here.
All right, say something.
It's a little. It's only slightly better for paladins than Ashkandi is than it is for a hunter.
What is?
Because it's not really optimized for a paladin.
Well, you were always telling me Ashkandi basically sucks. So what's changing your mind?
But they got a little better when I found out about the instant whites that's on classic that wasn't on in house.
Right. Okay.
So that really helped them.
Does it have stamina on it? I don't think it has stamina.
It has good stats. No, it has lots of stamina. 33, I think.
But compared to a rank 14 weapon, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, it has higher DPS than rank 14, but just how the procs per minute works with command and reckoning, rank 14 is going to be a lot better. And the stats on rank 14 is a little better.
Is it easier to get an Ashkandi as a ret paladin, or is it easier to get a rank 14 weapon as a ret paladin?
It's easier to get an Ashkandi. I mean, I don't know. It's like, does your guild have a policy where they give nothing to paladins? I don't know. But rank 14's rank 14. I mean, what kind of question is that? It's like the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to get, but at the same time, it's like factoring everything.
To be rank 14, you have to not have a job. And probably not have a girlfriend.
That's probably also true.
My wife in the background just said definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So. I heard that.
Rank 13 is viable though. Like I think you're. I'm just saying if you want to be a
rank 14 is jobless, girlfriendless.
Okay.
Rank 13 is one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I totally agree. I
I
tried
mean, not
ranking, yeah.
it, obviously it's not that's not 100% true, but basically
Unless
you're
you want to,
basically
or you're dead.
one of the
You
two.
literally like shortened your lifespan by like 10 years. Fuck that.
No, it's still no, nope, still
I'm
not.
saying if you had a job and you were going for rank 14, you shortened your lifespan by 10 years.
Okay, fine.
Am I wrong?
But anyways, the point is, yeah, until the
Okay.
3.5 axe, which is too fast, but it has an amazing proc with how reckoning and command works. Until that comes out, I think the axe sanity is going to be really good for paladins because it's long enough that you can heal with that up. On top of that, you can use that stun thing to probably do double damage on command. So I consider that a really strong
Oh,
was like
I got
edge
a
of
quick
insanity.
question. Why do you think my friend Zach has near bis gear for the 31020 spec? For those who don't know,
Okay,
his gear
so
is like full tier 2, and he's got like a hand of rag, and then he's got
let
some
me.
change.
I don't remember all the pieces, but let me try to recount here. So he has some spell power, which goes with Holy Shock, and then goes with your Judgment of Command. But like agility is the like kind of the middle line spec
You want a ring of
or the
reckoning?
middle line stat.
Like a
Yeah,
reckoning
well,
ring is
yeah,
good?
HP.
Hmm.
That's nice, but you the I think he has some hit chance in there too. You need
Yeah, he
hit
does.
chance,
He does.
but I think he has like shrouded for his cloak, which is agility. Agility is nice because agility pumps your
Command.
spell damage of your command. Like it can make your spell crit. So
Yeah.
it's like spell crit, but it's also your white crit.
Yeah.
So like 31020 doesn't really use strength very well
Hmm.
because command you're relying heavily on your command procs, and your command proc doesn't scale at all with
Well,
strength. So
it
it only but it does
yeah.
crit with melee crit. So
So the ideal gearing. Okay, we can talk ideal gearing for the spec. Ideally, I like the I
I gotta
like
go
tier.
actually
Okay, okay.
probably. So
Like he has tier 2 hand of rag and then change, and you agree with that assessment.
yeah, because the chain allows what I would try to get
Hmm.
is 3-piece PvP, 5-piece tier 2,
Yeah.
and then weapon chain. Probably. I mean, I haven't, you're asking me on the spot,
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
calculate. But you get the 45, 43
Yeah.
spell power from the tier 2. You're tanky, you
You
can
get
heal
like
yourself,
the
you have
Ani
sustain,
neck
you can heal other
piece,
players.
Ani neck
But
piece,
most importantly,
Don
you can lower
Julio's
your stun
ring.
duration.
Yeah,
Lower your stun
that would be
duration.
very nice.
I think weapon chain is good with that. And then like you're okay, so Crusader is good with reckoning because you're kind of like attacking auto attacking a lot. But
Crusader.
like you're doing a front load and then you're not attacking anymore, and Crusader goes on your next hit.
Oh,
So
Crusader. All
like
right.
putting Crusader on hand and rag when you're doing this kind of build doesn't really give you that much,
I think you
and
said
you're not
you.
really
I
attacking
think
a
you
lot
mean
to
Hand
heal
of Rag.
yourself.
You're saying Crusader. I don't like Seal a Crusader. What the fuck?
Well, I'm saying, what would you put over there on chain? What would you put on hand and rag over
Oh,
chain with that?
oh. Yeah, I can't think of too
I would
much.
do I would do maybe 25 agility,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe spell
spell power,
power.
maybe
Yeah,
plus healing.
Lifesteal's not
I don't think
bad.
plus healing. Let me tell you this. Probably not plus healing. Not life steal. Once again, is something you use if you're in combat over time.
Yeah.
You're spending most of your time healing, and you just do like one or two big hits.
Oh, yeah, I can see
So
that.
I would actually
Spell
agree
power.
with a
Yeah,
weapon chain because you're not going to be disarmed at the pivotal moment. In fact, I
there's
would
that.
say
Spell
if you don't
power.
have
Yeah.
stronghold gauntlets, it's a mandatory to go weapon chain because what's most likely going to happen is when you finally
Yeah,
need
you're
to go
probably
for that
right.
strike, you're going to
Especially,
get
yeah,
disarmed.
especially if you have a hand of rag, because they'll be thinking disarm the hand of rag. If you had
Yeah,
like an
they're
ash
like
candy,
salivating at it.
right?
They're
Yeah,
salivating at the
yeah, yeah,
thought of
yeah,
disarming you.
yeah. If you had an ash candy,
Anyways,
it'd be a
I
different
I
story.
pretty much lied to my
All
wife, and
right,
I've been
all
on
right,
here
all right,
twice
man.
as long as I said I would, so I
Yep.
need to go.
All right, man.
Yeah, I'm.
Yep.
Anyways,
All in the video. Day is
it's
full.
nice to talk to people. I'm not gonna talk on my own channel, guys. I just I don't know. It's just not my thing.
You were
I,
trying to explain
I,
it to me earlier why you don't want to talk, and it was kind of
Jordan
funny.
Peterson talked about something where he was talking about like turning up resolution, and he was talking about ideology, and I feel like whenever I talk about things I can just infinitely just keep turning up the resolution on whatever the topic is, and it
Yeah,
just keeps splitting more hairs,
yeah.
and eventually I just don't have anything to say because I can't say anything accurate enough, so I'd rather just display. But when I'm dealing with other people, it's a little easier because I don't think people expect you to be 100% accurate. I don't expect you that of you anyways. But
It is it a mental hang
there's an
up on your
expectation.
end?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
mental hang up to
All right.
to say something and not be 100%
Yeah,
genuine about it.
my other best my actual best friend in real life, he has the exact same problem.
Oh,
Like he
thanks.
keeps turning up the
Yeah,
resolution, and
I
I'm like,
don't.
just stop,
I
just stop. You gotta
yeah,
draw the line
you keep
somewhere.
turning it up, and then eventually you can't say anything because it's not. Well,
Yeah.
that's close to truth, but the more you expose something for what it really is, the less you're enabled to really verbally communicate it, and it just feels weird after a while. Like I don't.
What's even funner about it, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll go, is when people come back to you and they say, yeah, but blah blah blah, and they've turned up the resolution even more, and they're not wrong, but you had to draw the line somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good thing. They're attacking you with a straw man because you didn't want to go infinitely down the rabbit hole, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, like we were saying earlier, like, oh, buddy, it's not 31,020, it's
Yeah,
33,018. It's
yeah.
like,
And that changes
oh, it
all kinds of
depends.
things. And it's like, yeah, it
And
changes
it
some
changes. It's like,
things,
yeah, we
but
know. Okay,
yeah,
but already
okay.
2 hours over. So I gotta go.
All right, later, man.
Peace.
Yep. Actually, I should just turn off the conversation over here. All right, yeah. So I guess I'll just end the video here, you guys. We didn't really. How do I put this? Are we still recording? Yeah, we're still recording. 2 hour conversation. Yeah. So me and Drakova have known each other for a long time. We have a lot of interesting conversations. You can see how little I know about actual reckoning. My personal take on the 31.0 spec is it's raid viable. You can get the job done a lot. It's got good healing. Might be lines of play in duels that we're missing that make it more viable, but from our perspective, one thing that how do I put this? One thing that people really discount a lot is the sheer and utter value of the stuff in the prot tree. So when you come down the retribution tree, you can be like, oh man, deflection's fucking amazing, improved judgment's amazing, conviction's amazing, command is amazing, pursuit of justice is pretty damn good. Eye for an eye is fucking awesome, and there's all kinds of like awesome little stuff in here. Our benediction's actually not bad either. But then you come over to the protection tree, and a lot of things that are actually awesome get completely underrated. Yeah, I guess we'd have 2 points in there, but we can keep that in there. So a lot of things get super underrated. Only two? That sucks. Okay, so for example, in the protection tree, we have access to Reckoning. And Reckoning has come at the expense of like Holy Shock and Holy Power, I think. Yeah. What? I got it. Oh, we're good. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. So this is a close variation of my spec. So a lot of people really underestimate the power of the things in the protection tree. Like improved readout's a big deal in a lot of fights. Precision makes your gearing a million times easier. Remember we were talking about how Holy Shock is subject to mischance, and then improved Hammer of Justice is subject to miss, subject to resist. This one's also subject to resist, and it's subject to melee miss, which perception really helps. And then Seal of Command is also subject, I think, to resist and to melee miss. So precision just helps you a million times over with your gearing. We were also talking about how improved Blessing of Freedom is actually a really big deal in a lot of fights. Also, the 3 minute on the protection cooldown is really big in a lot of fights, especially like melee ones. Improved sealed specialization doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but it actually really is. Toughness doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's actually a really big deal for reasons that are hard to explain. Improved concentration aura is huge. You've heard me talk about this a lot. The improved Hammer of Justice is also huge. Reckoning is huge. Seal of Blessing of Sanctuary is a big freaking deal. There's so many things that are good in the protection tree. And when you can look over at the ret tree with envious eyes, but at the same time, it's like, let me try. How would I put this? if I had to put it some way. If I decided I absolutely needed Holy Shock, then I like the idea of going for the eye for an eye build. Like, if I had to have Holy Shock, I like the idea of coming down here, but I'm going to find it really painful to have to give up these talents out of the prot tree. Precision, improved Guardian's Favor, and then Redoubt. Having to give those up out of the prot tree would be really painful for me. And then the deepest I can go into the ret tree is Reflection. I mean, Deflection. So I'm literally giving up, check, 31. I'm literally giving up, let's see, I'm giving up 3 points in Precision. I'm giving up 2 points in that, and I'm giving up my Redoubt for 5% crit and eye for an eye. Is there anything else I want in here? Would I take Improved Judgment over Redoubt? Yeah, that's a tough sell right there. Like, for me, that's a real tough sell. Maybe it's an easier sell for you because you don't like casters or whatnot. Like, whatever you're getting out of eye for an eye versus casters, you're probably getting out of Reckoning as well. So that one's really painful for me. But I suppose, yeah, it's just looking at a direct comparison. Did we actually get that? Yeah, we got that. So just looking at a direct comparison, I guess I'm being forced to choose between maxing out my Redoubt, 3 points in Precision, and Guardian's Favor versus 5% Critical Strike and eye for an eye. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's one of those scenarios for me where it's like, on paper, these are better, but in practice, these are better in my opinion. And the major reason for that is because in this Holy Shock spec, you're going to be spending a lot of time healing, which means that your critical strike bonus damage isn't really being used all that much. The eye for an eye is really good because you're going to spend a lot of time healing versus mages and casters and stuff like that. So the eye for an eye does a lot of reflect damage, whereas these three things here do absolutely nothing versus spellcasters for you, like absolutely nothing whatsoever. But then we look on the other side of the spectrum, and it's like melee. Okay, what is working for me with melee? My Deflection is working, my Redoubt is working, my Guardian's Favor is working, my Precision is working, and against Guardian's Favor too. That's not really true. I was gonna say against spell casters, the Guardian's Favor comes in true also, but that's not really a thing. Against melee, my Conviction is kind of coming in for me, but my eye for an eye is not coming in for me as well. So, and then so what I'm trying to decide right now is if I was going to go a Holy Shock spec, like I absolutely need my Holy Shock for rating and for a bunch of other stuff, what would I prefer? Would I prefer like this style of build, or would I prefer putting these additional 10 points down here? Let's see what I can get out of this. Ooh, that's not half bad. That's not half bad. Like, what would I prefer? Like, of the 31 talent tree, where do I put the rest of my points? And this probably isn't all that fun for PvP. Like, you'll probably have more fun mixing it up with... yeah, okay. I'm just thinking, yeah, from a purely fun perspective, I agree with the 31020. Like, totally. I'm down for that. Yeah, if I look at it from a fun perspective, if I look at it from a practical perspective, I would say that I want more points in the protection tree. Why can't I take these points out? Just stop. But from a purely fun perspective, I can totally see why people are going with the command eye for an eye strategy. Totally see that, 100%. My issue is I've found a viable way to raid as a Holy Reckoning Paladin. And as a Holy Reckoning Paladin, apparently, my purpose in existence is to... Let me get the Holy Reckoning Paladin here. Good. 2 points. Kings? Do I take kings? Yeah, I take kings. I think I put 1 point in Righteous Fury just in case I have to tank something like Ever. 3, 1, and 5. That's my build. So I found a way to actually be viable healing in raids, and your viability is based around you actually have improved concentration aura, which apparently a lot of Holy Paladins don't get. You've got Blessing of Sanctuary in case you ever reach a Paladin threshold number where Blessing of Sanctuary actually is a thing. And what's fascinating me in raids is I've actually got judgment, lasting judgment these days. And apparently nobody's taking lasting freaking judgment, and they don't want to lower their healing score because they're doing judging wisdom or judging light on the bosses. But holy crap, the most useful thing you can do as a paladin, besides just blessing the entire raid, is to literally just put a judgment on the freaking boss. Especially in Classic, where things aren't hard enough to warrant all your healers being maximum with their healing at all times. Like, just, yeah, so I've found a way to not have to respec in raids and to still get gear and to still be valued because I'm doing the judgment stuff. And apparently I'm the only damn paladin doing the judgment stuff, which I find fascinating. So then I have to compare. It's like, yeah, going deep holy makes you a better healing in the raids, but this spec is equally viable. So then suddenly I have to compare this spec to the 31020 spec. And when I compare this spec to the 31020 spec from like a fun perspective, from a battleground perspective, from a dueling perspective, from an open world perspective, this thing is a beast. This thing is just a Swiss Army knife of go fuck yourself. The deep holy ret tree it's still good, but for me it's like I'm talking about the comparison of it's 90% as efficient in my mind as this Holy Reckoning spec here. Maybe with my experience, it's an 80% as efficient. But then Drakova has more experience dueling with it, so he disagrees. So we're just going to go with 90% efficient. So my overall assessment is that it's just like whatever the Holy Shock command spec can do, a Holy Reckoning Paladin can probably do just as well or better. But the margin is not significant enough for us to really warrant this discussion. It's one of the reasons why we don't really talk about the build, because that build doesn't really bring anything unique or spectacular to the table even we're talking about. And why we kind of tend to default with it's just good, it's just not as good as blah, 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 blah. You're missing this, you're missing that, so you're going to struggle, yada, yada, yada. So, for example, the Holy Shock 21 build will struggle against rogues. It'll struggle against warriors. It might even struggle against shamans and even other classes like hunters. Oh my god! So, without having like improved freedom and having that 4-second downtime on your freedom, you might find yourself struggling against hunters. Reckoning solves a lot of problems. Blessing a Sanctuary has turned out to be one of the best things in the game, period, because our Blessing of Kings doesn't work as well. Also, that build doesn't have kings. So, for example, if I'm fighting a rogue and I'm using Blessing of Sanctuary, it's amazing. Like, the healing that I'm pulling back from Blessing of Sanctuary over the course of that fight is probably way more than Holy Shock. I'll give an example. So, a rogue duel might take, like, let's say a rogue duel takes, like, 2 minutes. Okay, and it's probably more realistic to say, yeah, it's probably 2 minutes. 2 minute, 30 second, maybe a 3 minute duel. We'll say 3 minutes. During those 3 minutes, I can probably get off like 5 Holy Shocks just due to the nature of the duel. The 5 Holy Shocks will heal you for however much. With Blessing of Sanctuary, I've mathed it out. The rogue is probably hitting you like 100 auto attacks during the course of the duel. And so Blessing of Sanctuary is just negating like 200, it's like 2,500 damage over the course of the fight, practically, if not more. And that's in competition with your Holy Shock. And then you have Reckoning, which is probably proccing all kinds of things in its dog that are also healing you. And I just don't know. Again, we're talking about, it's so frustrating, this spec. Because the 31020 spec is so frustrating to talk about because it's so close in performance to any of the other specs that we've been talking about, but at the same time, it's significantly enough different in its performance to warrant talking about. That's just the frustration of it. Is it's better in some ways and it's worse in other ways. Whatever, in my opinion, it's like whatever class I'm fighting against that the 31020 spec has an advantage in over me, I I can compensate with gear and tactics for the Holy Reckoning tree. But the same statement is not true in the reverse. If I'm fighting a rogue in the 31-0-20 tree, I'm going to have issues. That better be a shitty rogue, or I'm going to have issues. As a Reckoning Paladin, on the other hand, it's just bring it. I'm missing Eye for an Eye. That's probably the biggest deal of them all. Like Holy Shock is nice, but Eye for an Eye is the biggest deal. So for Eye for an Eye really comes into play if you're fighting like mages or if you're fighting shamans, like we were talking about. The Holy Shock healing and the Eye for an Eye is very good against mages. Like no question, not mages, shamans. Very good against shamans, no question about that. Probably also good against mages. But at the same time, like I can find ways to make the scenario work for me with Holy Reckoning anyways. So I don't even need these talents. And then to sacrifice like my win ratios versus warriors and my win ratios versus rogues just to have an easier time of fighting these other classes, it doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why I say 90% as effective as a Holy Reckoning Paladin. Whatever that spec can do, the Holy Reckoning can probably do better. I'm not really sure what the Deep Holy is all about. Deep Holy is nice because you still get the bops. Like, let's strip it up. What was the Deep Holy? Yeah. So I'll just throw some points in here and call it good. Boom. And is that it? I got any more points to spend? Yeah. So I think I strip point. Yeah, this is Deep Holy-ish. Yeah. So the Deep Holy is nice because you still have some tools. So if we start thinking about the Rogue matchup again as Deep Holy, maybe you've experienced this. Like I've still got my stun on a really short cooldown. If I had PvP gear, right, like it would be on a 35 seconds cooldown, and now we're cooking with gas. Against a rogue, oh god, yes. Against a warrior, oh god, yes. Amazing. Your stun is awesome. You have the Holy Shock for healing. You've got precision, so your gearing is much nicer. This is on you can see basically it just straight up comes down to this was good against mages, but then suddenly I'm investing points into stuff that is much better against rogues. The critical strike's not really good against rogues. The parry's not really good against rogues. Command, for the reasons Drakova was talking about, isn't really good with rogues, and you might even go SOR. But then suddenly we're talking about, are we using a shield? Hell yeah, we're using a shield. Oh, are we using a shield? Hell yeah, we're using a shield. Are we going to be using this? Yes. Or you get the point. It's just this build, under a lot of circumstances, your classic 31-20-0 Deep Holy, will outperform the 31-0-20 in a lot of ways, under a lot of circumstances. Would you want to take this up against an Elemental Shaman? Probably not, because not too many of these things are helping you against Elemental Shaman. Your stun's on a shorter cooldown. If you have PvP gear, I would say yes. Totally take this against an Elemental Shaman, because you got that 35-second stun. You can probably work through that. But a lot of this stuff is kind of wasted fighting the Shaman. It's just rough, man. Whatever the 31-0-20 spec does, the other primary specs that we listed off have the options of doing it better. I think it's just that the 31-0-20 spec is just funner to play. It's probably funner to play, and it probably does a lot better against shittier opponents, which is going to be the 90% of the people you face in World of Warcraft are not going to be the top tier scary mofos. And subsequently, you can get away with a lot of stuff with that build that you wouldn't be able to get away with if your opponent was either better geared or if they were coming at you more knowledgeably. So, for example, could you beat rogues easily with a 31-0-20? Goddamn right you could. Like your average rogue, you probably kick his ass. You go up against a perplexity or a stab, you're probably going to get your ass kicked. Like or a Peo, you're gonna die. They're gonna know what to do. They're gonna know the weaknesses in your spec, and they might even be an orc, and you're just gonna have a hard time of it. So, anyways, that's the way I look at it. That's kind of the way Drakova looks at it. That might be the way other people look at it. I don't know. People argue with me a lot about this, so this is just why I wanted our first video of me talking with Drakova to be talking about this specifically, because he has a lot more experience than I do with the 31-0-20. So if he's kind of meh on it as well, then I just have to hand it over to him. But anyways, I'm going to end the video there since it's probably been like 2 hours of us rambling away. And yeah, hopefully we'll make more videos like this soon. You can see that Drakova is quite busy. But yeah, hope you all enjoy.